right.
What do you got going? Lo-fi?
We got lo-fi.
You like that?
Or do you want? I do like the lo-fi.
We need some better music selections.
You gotta download it.
I need to lay off the coffee.
Buzzing?
I'm buzzing, baby. I had to amp myself up. I just
You're just gonna slowly start fading in the second half. I can see it.
Yeah. All right, so you're right. I should save the second half of the coffee for the second half of the show. I was I was struggling, and now I'm wired.
I just had an acupuncture appointment, so I'm the opposite. I'm feeling chill.
Lucky.
Very chill.
Oh, I miss Kay.
Okay, today. I am substitute K once again. In from the voice from beyond.
Yeah, you're not. You won't be the ethereal voice from the ether today. Sammy's on screen.
I am on screen.
It's going to be a good one. I'm really excited about this because I have hung out with Russ and Kyle. They're all right. They're all right, guys.
They're okay.
They're pretty good guys. Now, we've hung out several times and checked out the kart ruts and different stuff in Texas here in our area. Had a lot of fun doing it. And they hit a site that I really wanted to do when I was over in Turkey. They're going to show us some of that today and get into a bunch of this stuff. I'm really excited for this one. Really excited because I've been working on the kart rut stuff too. So I'm excited to see them. We haven't all talked in a while, so be cool to exchange notes, if you will. Let's get the details out of the way. What do we got going on? We got a video release coming out this week.
Friday.
We need an applause for give yourself a round of applause for this one, Sammy, because you guys feel like I told Sammy that this video encapsulates what I've been trying to do with the channel for like 10 years almost now. Just had to find the right person who could edit.
Yay.
He's a talented and amazing editor.
Synergy.
The synergy and Kay's writing, it all has just come together. I love this video. I can't wait to share it with everybody.
So cool.
Well,
you're doing the live after, right?
I'll do the live after. Yeah. So we're shooting for a Friday release.
I should probably be on for that then. Maybe.
Huh?
Should I be on for that?
You should be on for that. Yeah, hell yeah. You were there.
I was there. I was there. I could talk about it.
We do want to tell everybody to get over to the new Wandering Wolf live channel because probably by the end of February, we won't be streaming on the main channel anymore. We're giving you guys time to make your way over there. Make sure to get over there, subscribe, do all the things, notification and stuff so that you guys are not missing any of these amazing hangouts and interviews and stuff. But we're moving everything over to the Wandering Wolf Live because releasing it on the main channel has been like nerfing the channel and the algorithm with YouTube because it's different content. So yeah, make sure you're over there on Wandering Wolf Live. I already dropped it in the chat. So if you're on the main channel, if you scroll up to the beginning of the chat, the link's there if you want to head over now.
We're 20% of the way to our goal.
20% away. We're just trying to get over 1,000 subs here.
Yeah. So once you see the live channel hit 1,000, you'll know that we're not streaming on the regular channel anymore.
Yeah. So don't fight it either, and try not to let us hit 1,000 so you don't have to do anything. Make the change. Get over there.
Make the change. Change is good.
Be the change that you want to see.
Exactly.
I don't think we got. Let's get right into it. I'm really excited to get into the cart ruts, especially. But we got some other cool topics we're going to get into. So these guys are Kyle and Russ, good friends of mine. I've had the pleasure of traveling with them here in Texas and digging into stuff, filming things, doing some videos together. Their channel is Brothers of the Serpent, and we're happy to have them on.
Yay!
Hey guys.
What is up?
Oh, hey there.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Oh, hello. All right, first things first, let's get straight into politics. We wanted to talk about how you guys doing, man? It's good to see you.
Imperialism.
I was gonna say that could go so many different directions.
It's an age-old, method.
Long live the king.
Okay.
So
vote for Ramses II.
There you go.
He's the greatest.
Did you guys get back from traveling?
I was in Egypt in December.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we were in Peru in October. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have been getting around. I've noticed.
A lot of traveling.
You had a tour.
It's been amazing. Yeah. Peru we had 2 tours back to back. So we had like a 4-day, we did a tour, a 4-day break, did another one, same thing. And man, that was epic. And it was good because
both,
both of the tours were phenomenal.
Nice.
And you know how Peru is, it rains or it doesn't, and it changes like by the hour. So some sites, there we go. Yeah. Some sites we went to,
Look at that bucket hat. I have one of those.
Yeah,
Protection from the rain.
Is that wool or alpaca?
Yeah, it's like felt or I don't know. It's
and it's like it's handmade from our buddy there, Rogelio, who's our Peruvian contact and guide there. It's his. I think he said
probably alpaca then, right?
His uncle makes them.
Peruvian.
Yeah, I don't know. You just roll it up and stuff it in your bag when you're done. It's great.
Kyle, do you wear that when you play?
Not yet.
No. Yeah. So what do you guys do? Do you guys when you do the tours, after the tours, do you guys hang out longer and go see other stuff or do things or?
Yeah, usually. Yeah. Sometimes we arrive a little early and do stuff beforehand. With Egypt, there's always stuff afterwards. And we've done multiple different excursions out into the Fayum, down to the Fayum and then into the desert out there. And there's some amazing, like the Valley of the Whales.
Sinai.
Yeah, into the Sinai. The oldest road is out there. It's like in the desert, there's a petrified forest. So all of these massive, beautiful petrified trees. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, petrified trees. It's just, and then there's amazing fossils along with the trees as well. And then there's this road that goes from an ancient temple all the way out into the desert where there's some mesas sticking up. And at the tops of the mesas is a layer of basalt. And that basalt is supposed to be the source for the platforms in front of the Great Pyramid and out at Abu Sir. So we went out there and there's this road, and part of the road is made from the petrified logs. It's like not only the oldest road, but they made a corduroy road out of petrified wood.
This is the first I've ever heard of this.
It's really amazing.
Yeah, same.
That's wild. I had no idea. You guys have also
that's cool.
dived out in Alexandria. I thought that was so cool when you guys were doing that, because I think we were hanging out or doing something or getting together around the time you guys were getting certified back then.
Yeah, I think so.
That had to have been incredible. I saw those pictures. It looked amazing.
Yeah, that was over the lighthouse that was supposed to have been there. There was this massive, supposedly megalithic lighthouse, one of the 7 ancient wonders of the world was there, and it collapsed and fell into the bay after an earthquake along with part of the city. And the water's actually not too deep in the area, so we went out there. It's cold though, dude. Like we went out there. We'd been diving in the Red Sea, and it's the water can be cold in pockets, but for the most part, it's all right. But we went to dive over that, and it's maybe, I mean, what was it, Kyle? Like 8 meters? Like what were we? It wasn't that deep, right? Over the
No, it was pretty shallow, but it was so murky you couldn't tell.
right. But
once you got underwater
freezing.
so far, you're like, you can't tell how deep you are. You can't tell how you can't tell where you are. You have to use the watch.
Yeah.
To tell
You're
if
just
you're even going up or
floating.
down or whatever. It was so murky you couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
And you get
That's
really
kinda
close to
scary.
the bottom, and then these stones start to emerge out of the mist, and you're just like, oh my gosh, these are giant blocks.
Massive block.
You're in space.
All of
Yeah. I likened it to you're walking through a graveyard in the mist at night and you can't speak.
Yeah.
That's what it was like diving down there. I mean, just like these giant columns are emerging out of, and you got your buddies are there, but you can barely see them. You can't yell at them. You can't. It was so creepy.
This
and
sounds
awesome.
cool, but this is why I don't like scuba.
I was gonna say, I don't think you're selling it for Mike.
other
I
thing
think you're
that would happen-
convincing him
yeah.
to not do it.
the other thing that would happen is, you'd get really interested in a massive block and you'd start looking at it and you're like, oh my God, this thing is amazing. And you look up and everyone's gone.
Yeah, who'd that happen to you? Didn't one of y'all told me y'all were checking and you were like almost out of air because you were not paying attention or something? Was that
That happened to Russ.
Yeah, that happens to me. And also, that I've one time diving in the connection from the tank to the BCD was just bubbling. I'm swimming along and I keep hearing this weird noise and I look back and there's this line of bubbles going up and I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm gonna run out of air.
Your air was leaking.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
nightmare.
I guess there's
Yeah.
a lot that can go wrong, huh?
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you have that's the part of the buddies, everybody there has an emergency breather. So if anything goes wrong, the first thing you do is you go up to your buddy or to the dive master, whoever else, and just tell them you're running low on air. They give you and then you can slowly ascend. So there's that, and that's the part of the certification. You go through all this training. What happens if you're running low on air? What happens if one of your straps breaks and your gear comes off? Like how to put it back on, how to take it off and get it unstuck from something like ropes and then put it back on while you're underwater. All this stuff you train for. It's fun.
Wow.
I'm
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. I'm in.
in.
It's totally worth
Come
it.
in. I want to do it so bad.
We did all this training for all these emergency things. And of course, every time we've dived, there's been no need for any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So
I think I'd
That's-
rather do that than ride a
That's
helicopter.
successful dive.
the main thing you have to get used to is, when they ask you if you're okay, are you like, you all right? Don't do this because that means I want to go up right now. You have to, give them the okay. Yeah.
Just don't ask me anything because that'll be me every time.
You're like,
I'm
and they're like,
good.
oh my God, emergency
sharing
Get out of
evacuate.
here. Yeah.
I'm sharing a little bit of the Alexandria dive. If you want
Oh,
to see,
dude.
this is just
Yeah.
how murky it is.
Wow.
So you can see the guy. There's flippers in the distance there. That's not too far away. That's
10 feet and they start vanishing. Yeah.
But it's kind of bright though. I imagined it being way darker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So-
it's bright, but you get. That's all I'm saying is that like stuff that's far away, you can't.
It's like
see
going
it
through a
at all.
fog. Yeah.
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 You're going through a fog.
So
Like,
everything
he's
below
like,
you
he's
there
like,
is
check that out.
Hey, look at that. Look at the blocks,
Oh my god.
Wow.
the columns.
Whoa.
Wow. Oh,
didn't
this
know we're-
is so cool.
Yeah, I didn't know we were going to be seeing any of this. This is great. Wow. Look at that. Man,
Yeah.
you guys got down there and did it.
Let's see what's next.
Are
Yeah,
you guys
it
going
was,
to do that again?
I think so. I would like to dive at this site at least one more time. Like I said, when we did it before, I would like a better, thicker wetsuit. It was extremely cold, and by the end of the second dive, all of us were like, you know what, it's too much. It's too
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah.
Do you know what the temperature was?
I don't remember. My dive watch remembers. Probably.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
See,
look at
even
that
that
stuff.
block. You can't even see the end of it. It was hard to tell how
Yeah.
big some of them were because you'd be at one end, you couldn't see the other end.
Wow, man.
God, so crazy. Like it just how much has been lost to the ocean.
Yeah.
So much.
So much.
And this is a known structure too, you know. So imagine coming across something like this and having no idea what it was for. So even this was it was so epic, but the lighthouse is there's written records, and we know where it was and when it collapsed. So, but I imagine there's stuff like this out there as well that you know, is completely unknown. But how do you find it when it's in these kind of conditions?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
that'd take forever. You'd have to go over every square inch, or do some kind of
you'd need side
LiDAR
scanning. Yeah, exactly. Radar.
Yeah.
LiDAR. Yeah.
Another reason we got to LiDAR the Earth.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is LiDAR is not going to help underwater. You need something else. Yeah.
Sonar. Okay.
Yeah. LiDAR will hit the surface of the water and basically stop there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's just ground.
Yeah.
The other thing, we don't know what these are made of. I'm assuming granite, but there could be all types of stone here, but they're completely covered in this.
Yeah, you couldn't check the stone type.
You can't really tell what they're made of.
Yeah, they're covered.
They're just
aren't they?
column drums, giant column drums, huge square blocks. Like, look at these. These are they're massive.
Yeah, but you're right. It's hard to kind of get a sense of scale when you can't see the whole thing clearly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amazing.
And I'm not the greatest underwater videographer. I will admit.
Look at that. So you guys just got back from another tour to Egypt in December?
Yeah, that was just me this time. The other thing we do is we have a winery.
What was Kyle doing? Slacking?
Kyle was totally slacking, trying to get the winery built. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys? So you guys are Texans. You
guys
got the winery going. Yep. So Kyle was holding down the fort.
Right.
We were. Let's see.
What winery? What's the winery business?
I better stop sharing.
Yeah, careful, bro. Careful, bro. You went way deeper than I would have gone.
I did not prepare. Didn't prepare for the winery part.
So the winery is Turtle Creek Vineyard. We've been working with the guy that owns it. We've been working with and for him for 10 years.
Okay.
It's out in Kerrville. It started out as he thought it was going to be maybe olive trees, and we were going to make olive oil, but olive trees don't like Texas, at least not the part we live in.
Yeah.
So we couldn't keep them alive over the winter, but we've planted some grapevines and they did great. So we planted more grapevines, and now we have 13 acres of grapes. And I
can't believe you guys haven't given me a bottle yet.
Next time, bro. Next time I will give you a bottle. What do you prefer, red or white?
Red.
Okay, good.
What do you guys grow?
We have Tannat, Cabernet, Merlot, Montepulciano. These are all varietals that grow well in our area. So,
yeah, it's interesting.
Trebbiano,
Mourvedre,
right?
Alicante Boucher.
It's probably been more and more over the years, huh? It's not. There aren't a lot of vineyards in Texas.
New things, new stuff.
There are a lot of vineyards in. There is like a hill country, like towards Fredericksburg.
Yeah,
there are a lot out there, and there's like a whole vineyard highway practically.
Yeah.
And in the High Plains, they grow a lot of grapes there too. But it's a growing industry here.
They have the they have tours from Austin you can take out of Austin.
Yeah.
And just go get wine drunk all day, hopping from wine tasting to wine tasting out in Fredericksburg, and then they bring everybody back and drop them off all drunk.
Yep.
Yeah, we're kind of outside the main area, like the main wine region over in Fredericksburg. We're like 30 minutes from Fredericksburg, so we're a little bit outside of that, but
did you guys survive the winter apocalypse?
Yes.
I haven't survived it yet. It's still ongoing.
I was hoping it was going to be even more cool, but
yeah. It was a little bit of a dud. Yeah.
I haven't even seen anything. Like, I saw all of the alerts prior, but then this whole past weekend, I didn't really see anything about it. So,
yeah, it's classic.
well, that's good.
Yeah,
Well-
it's pretty mild.
Yeah, the apartment that I'm in, our door actually is north facing, and then there's a big tile deck right where the door goes out, and that's still covered in ice because it never gets any sun.
Yeah.
So even today, when everything warmed up, there's like 3/4 of an inch of ice in front of our door going out like 8 feet. Still there, hasn't melted yet. But other than that, yeah, it was a dud.
I broke my ribs. I broke 2 ribs once on icy stairs, slipped and landed. And you know what's messed up is 2 of my buddies slipped on the same spot, and I laughed at both of them, and then I did it.
It was karma.
Broke 2
No,
ribs.
that's
Yeah. Karma. So tell me guys about, we're gonna get into the cart ruts, but when were you guys last in Turkey? When was this?
April.
So you guys have been out
year.
there several times. But the last one was in April. Is that when you visited the cart ruts?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Have you been
We
been there multiple times?
No, we had been to Turkey before and done a tour out there, and then the second time we were going to go, I had told Ramazan, the guy that's our local contact out there, I was like, bro, like I know there's cart ruts somewhere in the Phrygian Valley.
Yeah.
I would love to go see them, and so I sent him some info on basically what I had, but it was almost impossible to find. Like, where are they exactly? You could find photos online, and there's like a Russian there's a Russian website that has a whole bunch of fantastic photos of them, but he never tells you where they are. Well, that guy claims that he's got a map on his website that shows you where they are, but he just put a marker in the middle of the valley. We drove to that spot. There's no cart ruts there. It's just a farm field, basically. So
yeah.
But
Just finding them was an adventure then.
It was tough, yeah. And eventually, I kept telling Ron, I was like, I know they're out here, And I was going online and reading people saying, oh, I went past some cart ruts when I was hiking a trail from this monument to that one or whatever. But I could never find them. But eventually Ramazan was like, well, I just contacted somebody who lives there, and he says he knows where they are. So we drove the bus out there with everybody on the whole tour on the bus, parked it, and followed this rando out into the...
You did this on a tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I stood up in the bus. I was like, I know cart ruts sound boring, but they're totally not. And we've never seen them, but I know they're there. And this guy supposedly knows where they are. So we're just going to get out of the bus and follow this guy. And sure enough, we walked maybe 3/4 of a mile, and bam, there's the first set. And it was phenomenal. Yeah. So
what I think you're not, it's hard for me to gauge whether people think the cart ruts are boring or not, right? Visually, it's clearly not as impressive as like these megalithic structures and stuff. But the possible implications behind them are rather fascinating.
Yeah.
And maybe you guys can explain a little bit of that, why, we've all kind of gravitated towards these things, because some of that is, just for our viewers that maybe don't understand what cart ruts are.
Yeah, I'm curious for what the theories are, and like, because I'm pretty new to it. So like the intro, what's the cart rut intro? Okay,
so first of all, they're found all over the world. The most famous site is on Malta. Malta has thousands of them. They're almost, as far as I know, almost exclusively in sedimentary rock, which is usually softer. It's not like granite or something like an igneous. So it's in a limestone or maybe some volcanic tuff or whatever, or sandstone or something like that. That's also true of the ones we looked at outside of Austin. They're in limestone in a riverbed. The name cart rut gives you a clue on what the prevailing theory is, which is that two-wheeled carts went up and down, back and forth on the stone over and like thousands of times in the same spot, and eventually dug ruts into the rock. This doesn't really make sense, although you understand why people came to this because like, what are the other possible explanations? That it was done when the stone was still soft, which is what it looks like. It looks like vehicles driven through mud, that then the mud then hardened, right? Because especially because there's so many of them and they overlap and they cross back and forth with each other, which doesn't make sense if you're just running a single cart and then it starts to dig into the stone, which we can get into that when I show some pictures of what I have from Turkey. But another possibility, so the possibility that they were made when the material was soft would put them millions of years in the past, unless, which is totally untenable for anybody in academia, right? That somebody was operating vehicles millions of years ago. This is completely out of the question. The other possibility is that sedimentary stone can lithify from a soft material way faster than is normally believed, which would make the stone not very old. This is also completely untenable. So the best explanation is that somehow wooden carts with wooden wheels cut ruts into the stone by going back and forth a bunch of times.
Sammy, can you bring up some shots of cart ruts somewhere for people to look at while we're talking about this? I have I think I have a dozen videos from Malta on sites there, drone videos. And then our videos that we did together here in Austin. And there's other cart rut sites around America, but they're primarily found.
Yeah, so when you look it up just like that on Google, you almost exclusively get Maltese cart ruts.
Yeah.
Because those are the most famous and the most photographed. That's Clapham Junction in Malta right there.
And they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And some of them, like you mentioned before, there's no rhyme or reason the way they cross and different stuff. And now below that picture there, see how they cross there?
Yeah.
But if you go back one, Sammy, to where you were before, and then on the right there with the little group on the right side of the page, midway down, right, that one. On Malta, you have some of these that are really weird because they
have like gear tooth
in
the middle, like it was some kind of fixed, almost a train, maybe. Yeah.
Which is really odd. So it has the same width and dimension as the other cart ruts, and there's other cart ruts right next to that one. And by the way, this is right by a cliff. There's a cliff edge, and the cart rut tracks go right off the edge of the cliff.
Right. So another question that gets asked about the carts is that the carts are supposedly single axle pulled by a single animal. And usually there's nothing in the middle of the cart ruts. There's no animal trail where if you had, thousands of movements of a cart back and forth, the animal's hooves would also dig holes. And there's usually nothing like that. The middle of the ruts don't seem to have any footprints or even a trough dug by an animal walking in the same place.
Some of them are quite deep like that.
Yeah.
That one there.
Yeah.
One aspect of the middle, though, that we noticed in Turkey was that the middle between the tracks seemed to stay relatively close in depth to the depth of the track, whereas the outside could be multiple feet deep.
Right. So I'll show
like if the tracks were only 4 inches deep, then the middle looked like the rest of the landscape. It had its natural surface. But if the tracks got really deep, the middle also got deeper up to a certain point. So maybe the tracks would get like 8 to 10 inches deep. Then the middle would start to actually follow that 8 to 10 inch track, while the outsides could get deeper up to, like we saw some that were like 6 feet deep, 8 feet deep.
Yeah.
I've got an example pulled up here.
Okay.
It is as though there was an axle going across there was a certain amount of clearance necessary.
Yeah, look at that. So this is the same in Malta as what you're showing here. This is Turkey right here. Is that correct?
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And then you see the scraping on the sides.
Scrapes.
So to me, that looks like hubs, like the hubs of a wheel are scraping the sides there. But of course, it's scraping at multiple different levels, which is curious. Like, why isn't there just one scrape?
Yeah.
There's like all these different lines. So it's like, is that because the track is getting deeper and deeper? And how it's weird that it would make, because you would think each time if it was just a cart, like each time a cart passes, it's only getting deeper by, microns.
Right.
Yeah.
So why would there be these clear striations of different depths on the sides? Like it doesn't make sense on a normal, for it to be like a normal cart, unless these carts have slightly different.
Right. They're all different wheel sizes.
Wheel diameters.
Yeah.
Because they always come in like sets of 2 that stay parallel, like equidistant.
Well, I'm glad you asked that question.
Fairly equidistant.
Let's see.
But then there's another thing real quick on that photo. Well, okay.
Sorry.
Fine. Photo gone. There's really cool stuff on that photo, guys. Trust me.
I'll bring it back, but let me show that just relevant to the question.
Trust me, bro.
Relevant to the question, is it always 2? Well, not always. I got this one pulled up here. You can see that it's sometimes not 2.
Really?
Very narrow. And yeah, it just kind of randomly goes up a hill and vanishes. It's not very long.
So I haven't seen a single one like that before. I don't think.
I think there were there was this one and one other, and they were not long. There was another one that was interesting too, where it just stops.
That's the unicart.
Right. We were saying, yeah, this guy was on, he was a unicyclist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy did his own thing. He marched to the beat of his own drum.
He was trying to be innovative.
Yeah,
okay.
Cart ruts are cool, but
that's that weird guy that back then
unicycle ruts
curled his mustache out.
So let me, before we get into, I want to show you some video as well, but I want to show you this. We were trying to take let's see, I'll share it real quick. We were taking just a group video with my drone and photos in front of the cart ruts. Now, see what's behind us there? This is the original level of this material. And all around us, you can see that there are, I don't know if this drone shot gets it. I'll kind of move forward here. Let's see. I'll zoom out. But you see the landscape.
Yeah.
So all this stuff is volcanic tuff. So this was supposedly laid down in a very large volcanic eruption 10 or 11 million years ago. That's the accepted geology of this area. This stuff is volcanic ash that's sort of over time lithified and cemented together and become a relatively soft, rough stone. And this is the original height of it. So it's been eroding through geological forces for a long time and making these sort of valleys and everything around through. And the cart ruts are in that. So it seems like that probably means that the idea that these were laid down when this material was soft is not the case, because they would have been up here on this upper level, which was probably the original ground level before this all got eroded down.
Yeah, good point.
I'm not 100% sure that that's true, but that seems like it's probably the case. But again, you can see like how sort of like haphazard the ruts are. They cross each other, but they all seem to be going generally in the same direction, right? And they're kind of going around this wash, and some of them seem to go into it too. And I tried to follow some ruts sort of disappear into sandy areas like this, and I walked along looking for, do they ever come out the other side? Sometimes you can find it. Other times they just never come back out. So maybe they run along the bottom here. I don't know, but you can see like there's a couple right here at the edge that come in and out of the sandy area right here.
Yep.
But it's like this everywhere. I mean, we got I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 hours to walk around this area, and the ruts are all through this place, but they appear prominently in places like this where there's no vegetation and there's no sand cover, and the ruts are just kind of going along, but they come out of an area covered in vegetation and sand and go along the exposed rock and then disappear again underneath the vegetation. So who knows how long they are, and how far they go or where they're going. I couldn't figure out. I looked at it on Google Maps. I flew the drone all over the place. There doesn't seem to be any, at least not at first glance, no noticeable origin or end
Which is kind of the case for all of the Cartwright sites. It's like they just appear and then they end.
Yeah.
And there's no real kind of, they just exist within these limited spaces. It's kind of hard to, determine the rhyme or reason of. Now we have some generally accepted dates, don't we, for some of these sites around the world? I think Malta has estimates going back 5,000 years. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think is it Gigantia or something is one of the oldest. It was before Göbekli Tepe, it would have been considered probably one of the, if not the oldest megalithic site.
Right.
Temple site on the planet.
And then you start getting into stuff in the Americas, and
it's colonial.
Yeah. So when you guys, because you guys have seen stuff around the world that has dates given to it that's much older, right? And then you've also seen stuff now in the Americas that's, like you said, considered colonial. Don't they seem almost exactly similar?
Okay. What struck me about the Phrygian Valley ruts was, and specifically in how they differ from what we saw outside of Austin. Let's see. Let me pull up a picture so you can sort of see what I'm talking about. Yeah, this will do. Let me share it here. Okay, so this image. Now, if you remember what we were looking at in Austin, they were narrow, like narrow this way. The wheels weren't very wide, but all of these ruts in the Phrygian Valley had fat tires. They were they were like rolling on fatties, dude. Like they were like pretty wide, and the bottoms were very flat, and the sides were usually pretty straight. I got some great footage of down in the trench itself, where you can see like if you look here, I can probably zoom in on this. You can see like the way it's cut through the material here. It's sharp. It's almost a square profile. It's very close to being square.
Yeah.
So
no
the
tires.
Whatever
this was like rigid.
Right. And what we saw in Austin were much more narrow, much more like you would expect even from
shallow
wagon wheels.
Yeah.
Narrow, not very wide. These don't look like your standard wagon wheels. Now, what was interesting is that after we visited this place, I think it was, after we visited this place, we went to a place nearby, like a local area, and had lunch, a place that could, nothing here is, there's no large cities or anything near this place. So just a small village, but there was one place that said they could feed all of us at once. We went and had like a very pleasant lunch there, and leaning up against the wall in their restaurant area they had a whole bunch of just old artifacts laying around. And one of the things they had was this big, great stone wheel that was about the same width as this.
Really?
So now at first I thought, is this like a grindstone? Like normally when you see a big stone wheel, you think they're using it to grind grain in the ancient times. But if it was an actual wheel, I could more understand how these ruts were made if they were using like literal Fred Flintstone stone wheels. And that's going along and slowly grinding its way. But you still don't, it still doesn't make sense. Like, how did they go along the same track over and over and over?
Yeah.
And make it so perfect along the same path to make this so sharp.
Exactly. And then
I think there's evidence that they actually carved these.
Some of them look like they've been actually
they've been carved.
In some ways, like at least for preparation, which is another thing that raises a question. Why are there so many in different places? Like that's what's weird. Yeah. But I don't understand how they couldn't be carved based on some of the features. Like there would be a short rise in the stone, and yet the cart ruts would go straight through it. without rising and falling. So the rise would be on the outside of the cart ruts, in the natural landscape. And that suggests to me that, it had to be carved. Otherwise, if you were riding on just, the raw ground, your cart would rise over that. And if so many carts went by that it slowly grounded away, the cart ruts would rise and fall similar to the rise and fall in the natural landscape. But they don't. When the natural landscape undulates up and down, the cart rut, the bottom of the actual rut itself, stays way more flat, as though there's compensation in the rising and falling.
Can you go back to that picture of the inside of the cart rut that you were showing a second ago?
The first one that I was showing?
I do think there was some carving done, at least. Like in that one, for example, that huge one. It's like they had to have carved through there.
Yeah, so now this is different. Notice that the ruts are actually narrow gauge. Yeah. These are much more like what we saw in Austin, and these actually look completely different. And there's all these scrape marks along these walls here. Like every time they brought something through here, it was scraping along in different levels. But what's interesting is, oh yeah, look how professional I am here. Look at this professional photo. Along this,
get it together, Russ.
Hey, that's completely pro, bro. Okay, up here at the top of this, I think I've got photos of it. Yeah. So what we're looking at here is this. It's behind all these people, but those ruts go into this cliff face, and you can see there's another. Here it is. Those ruts are in here, the narrow gauge ones, but there's the older, like wider kind, just going along the hillside up here and down. This looks like something completely different to me.
Well,
which was also strange.
Yeah, it is.
It makes me think of trolley tracks, like how we intentionally carve out tracks and then have like cable systems so they like go on their own.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
and then sometimes they go wild.
Ever found for short distances.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, how do you guys feel about these being used for electrical cables and what else? What other stuff?
Well, what the locals there told us, and I mean, Ramazan was like, after he talked to some of the locals, he was like, they say they're for irrigation. Now that doesn't make any sense either, but I'm always interested in what the local people think it is.
Yeah.
Right. And they're like, oh yeah, they're all through the hills back there, and they're for water. Now we've run a lot of irrigation, I mean, we're farming, right? So you got to run a lot of irrigation. This is, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Why do you need parallel trenches?
Why do you need two of them? Yeah.
You would I guess,
is one for drinking and one for dirty water?
Yeah.
And then, the ruts that cross the other ones, like blend them together.
Yeah.
Right. So then it's like, okay, so they're actually troughs for conduits, either of water or power. I don't know, but none of that makes sense. It's especially when you're walking around. They are vehicle tracks, right? Almost certainly they're vehicle tracks.
Yes. Now, you guys, one of the things that I was proposing for a while, and still, not every site matches up to this, but some of that I feel like might be just because they haven't been found yet, but the relation between quarries and cart ruts. But you guys are saying that you weren't seeing that, at least here.
Not in the Phrygian Valley. Now, like I said, there are some monumental, there are some rock cut structures that sort of stand alone, and they attribute them to, what was his name? I can't remember, a king a long time ago. But they don't look like they're attached at all. There's no correlation that I can see, except that they're in stone. But there's no monumental structures anywhere near this site. Those are miles and miles away. Now we know that ancients would build things in stone and often drag the stone for hundreds of miles. That didn't seem to be an issue for them. But like I said, if these were going to and from a quarry, or to and from a quarry and to a site or whatever, I would say that they're really far apart.
Yeah.
The quarry was nowhere near here that I could find. And there's no monuments anywhere near it either. Like I said, most of the monuments are actually rock cut and like dug into this material because this material is relatively easy to cut into. So you don't need a quarry because you're just digging the stone out. You're not making blocks out of it, right? So all of this is, relatively in the Cappadocia region, which is where Derinkuyu is, and Derinkuyu also is dug into like a volcanic tuff. And then a lot of the strange geology around in Cappadocia is because of this material. It makes interesting geological formations when it erodes.
Did you guys get to go visit Derinkuyu?
Yeah, we went into Derinkuyu as well.
That's something else, huh?
It is, and it reminded me a lot of the plenty of the other ancient sites we go to. That it's the deepest layers that are the most interesting because those are the least modified by later people. The top of Derinkuyu has been used and occupied and reused and occupied and abandoned and used and occupied and abandoned over and over and over for thousands of years. And people have cut random tunnels through walls and, they go all over the place. But when you get to the bottom, it's got beautiful structure, arched ceilings.
Yeah.
The pathways make sense and are straight and have, 90 degree
great point.
And they're also much higher quality workmanship. You know what I mean? So when you get down to the bottom, you like, oh, this looks like a vault. You get down there and there's like a couple of big tunnels that go and they just end in multiple directions. Like if you were digging down and making a vault to store something safely. And then all the upper levels have like a million little side tunnels and random stuff going all over the place. And the workmanship is not very good.
Right.
Plus, I'd say 75% of Derinkuyu is blocked off from the public access.
Which
so who
is
knows? You can't even walk around in the thing and get a good idea because you're only seeing 20% of it or something.
Yeah, there's you go pretty deep even to the sections that's open there, but it's a little disappointing knowing how much more is down below you.
Right. There's more below, and there's also whole blocked off sections in the upper levels that presumably go farther out on the upper levels that you just don't get into.
They've concreted up, which I thought was crazy.
Yeah, there's walls and bricks and cobblestones concreted. Yeah, they've completely sealed it so that tourists can come through and everybody goes in the same direction down and then back out.
Well, there are a few drops in there that I understand them putting the grates over and stuff. That would be
of course, yeah. The wells.
Some kid falling down that's would be horrible.
So here's another one. Like, see the ruts again. They're very flat on the bottom, and then there's scrape marks along the side. And then you can see that the surrounding stone, like Kyle was talking about, the surrounding stone will go up and down, like have its natural rises and falls. But the middle between the cart ruts is very flat. Like whoever made these, and I do lean towards the idea that these were actually cut purposefully. And again, look at the side. This is a pretty straight wall. It doesn't make sense that a vehicle passed through here a bunch of times and cut this because it's too smooth.
It's so smooth, yeah.
And the other thing, and this was an observation that Kyle made right when we first got there, was excellent. In this material, there are larger pieces. I don't have any good photos of them, but there are larger pieces of stone, like volcanic stone, darker stone. So there'd be maybe a chunk the size of a piece of gravel. And that was also cut through, right?
Irregardless of the type of stone. Or whatever. Yeah.
So and this pretty much put to bed the idea, the question of whether this was done when the stone was soft. If this had been like a mud-like material and the vehicle had driven through it and made these tracks, it would have hit a piece of harder rock like that and just shoved it down.
Right.
It wouldn't have cut through it. So we were finding these harder chunks of stone that had been cut flat along with the wall there. And that seems to indicate that this was some kind of cutting action, not made when...
That makes sense.
I'm with you guys. Are we in agreement then that we're ruling out that these cart ruts, even worldwide, were made when the stone was soft?
Yeah,
I mean, so. I would rule that out.
Yeah, yeah. Look at how regular this is. I put my AirPods in there, but for scale. But you can see like flat side walls, very flat bottom, and then again on the side here, I would say that the roundness is purely due to erosion since they were made.
The other thing you would notice in a soft material is raised sides, because when you're displacing the mud, you're not cutting the mud away or turning it to dust.
Yeah, it would push it out.
You're displacing it, so it raises the sides on either side of the rut in the mud.
Now,
and it would settle and it wouldn't stay straight.
Well, what's that?
It would like settle probably more over time, and it wouldn't stay so straight.
Right.
Also.
Perhaps, that could be as well.
So one thing
there are no raised sides on any of these for sure. So it's not being displaced.
One thing that I thought of when looking at these is there are paleontology prints, like, very old dinosaur prints in stone. And some of them are really high quality. And the question is, well, how does this happen? How does T-Rex come by and put a giant print in some mud, and then that mud somehow get preserved to the point that later it's stone and the print is still really pristine? Well, when you look into it, the idea is that there's like a thin layer of water, and then there's a bunch of soft material, maybe even a foot of it or more. And then at the bottom of the soft material is still wet, but a much harder, firmer clay. And the animal steps into that, foot goes through the water, through all the soft material, and makes a deep imprint in the clay. And then as soon as the foot leaves, the softer material flows into the print in the clay and preserves it in a pristine way. And then eventually the water dries up, or that gets covered over with other material, and millions of years pass and it lithifies. And then you have to have erosion, get rid of the softer material on top, and then eventually the print is revealed, and it's perfectly preserved because of the material that immediately flows into it after the print was made in the harder material below. Right. So I was trying to look for if that is the way that these were made, that this was like some kind of marshy area and they're driving through and there's actually water and stuff here, but it doesn't make sense for this area at all. And also this is volcanic ash. It was never mud, really.
The other thing you notice with the footprints is that they're on very flat ground.
Yeah.
Because that was the water level. The water is always seeking a level surface. So the mud at the bottom is also level.
Yeah.
So when sedimentary rock is eroded, you might be going up a hill and there's one level that there's some footprints. Well, that's the level where the footprints are going to be. If you go up a little bit, you're not going to see like a single dinosaur track going up a hill.
Yeah, traveling through geological eras.
Yeah, because it's traveling like later in time, geologically speaking. So they're always on a level.
You're in the same layer. Yeah.
Yeah. This material was probably all laid down at once in one event, one volcanic event. And these tracks are clearly going up and over and around on the top of it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't water. In other words, if it was made in mud, it would typically be a flat level area.
But then we have other sites around the world that don't have the same geological composition to the.
Yeah.
That's right. Malta is totally different stone and completely different geologically.
Right.
And then what we were looking at in Austin, that's that stuff is, what is it? It would be late Cretaceous limestone. So 190 to 100 million years old from a shallow sea. It has marine fossils in it. So,
yeah. So right there, we've got three different places with three different types of stuff. If you want to include Austin into this, into this, it seems like the big thing to figure out with the cart ruts are the right questions to ask. And so it's like we're still in this process of elimination with a lot of the stuff in these sites, and gathering information and putting it all together so we can ask the right questions.
Yeah. And here's another question. Look at these in the middle here. Like there's some scraping, and there's a little scraping along the edge here as well. But some of the track paths had these sort of scrape lines going down the middle. Now it's hard to tell if this is a natural feature. Like this one is a fracture in the stone.
Yeah.
But this doesn't look like that. It's not the same. It looks more like it's been gouged. You know, there's also, look at this. It's really hard to see, but there's another older, or I don't know if it's older, but there's a rut track coming out of this deeper one and going along right here.
Oh, there is, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you would have to assume that the tracks that are deeper over top are newer. Like you know what I'm saying? Like these tracks that are over top of another track, completely erasing the other
old
tracks.
Yeah.
That has to be the newer track. So
right. Like there's tracks here, they're shallower, and they go over here and they disappear in this.
They're erased by the other.
They're erased by this bigger, deeper track.
So those other tracks on the right, they just end there?
Yeah, they just like, look at that. It goes along and they just kind of disappear. They don't appear again on the other side of these deep tracks. It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Yeah, what are we doing here?
Multiple sets. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. There was okay, there's the unicyclist guy.
So the other thing I would say is that without experimentation, to add to what you're saying, Mike, like we need an experiment. Like run some 1-ton solid wheeled vehicle back and forth over this material to test how much it cuts into it. I don't know. I mean, you don't have to go that deep. You would just go 1 centimeter.
Yeah.
And then you could determine the number of passes and the weight that is necessary.
Yeah.
Carve into these.
I would love to get into that with you guys. I've been working with my buddy. He's in the chat, Sean.
Where is the chat?
Can you guys not see it?
I'm watching the chats. What's up, people in the chats?
Is it on YouTube? Oh, that's I need to pull it.
Yeah, you guys are getting some shout outs here.
Okay.
In the comments.
Let me pull up the old chat.
I see Anwit. How's it going?
All right.
And you got some super chats, bro. I don't know if anyone's ever checked the ruts for radiation.
But I think that's the way to go. I think we should get some
experiments.
Yeah, absolutely. I was telling my buddy Sean, I mentioned he's in the comics here, that we're about to get rolling on a video and putting a bunch of work together. He's been doing a bunch of behind the scenes stuff. And yeah, I think we could get something rolling on some kind of experiment, and we could maybe mess around in Austin on a bit as well. And it turns out I think there's another site here in Austin that somebody contacted me about that I need to go out. It's in the middle of the city, and I need to go out and check that out and see if there's actually another set of cart ruts here, which is, kind of wild to just have that around here. But yeah, that site that we went to, at least the Bull Creek one. Yeah, I grew up going out there getting drunk and partying, and never knew any of that was out there. We'd go out there.
Classic.
We'd turn the radio up on the cars and leave the car running, and just 15, 16 years old getting drunk out there and swimming around in the water.
Well, that makes me think of, there's one thing we can definitely rule out about these cart ruts, is that they weren't made by teenagers.
Yeah. I completely agree.
There's no donuts, bro.
What about turtles?
Yeah. Okay.
Process of elimination.
The idea that they were some kind of like ancient sea creature is also interesting.
How so? What's that? I haven't heard this one.
I mean, yeah, some people have. I know probably somebody in the chat said this as a joke, but you know, one question is like, could this be some kind of animal activity? Again, I don't think so, but there are some strange animal tracks from the ocean you can find that look a little bit like vehicle tracks, but they're usually really small, like crabs.
Yeah, I mean, these are pretty precise.
Yeah.
Turtles with iron skin bellies.
Yeah, iron skin turtles. Another thing, I'll just point out, like, I love all the details. Like, look at this track, and it's got a double track in here. Now, how would you do this?
Where are there fin tracks on the sides?
How would you do this if you were a turtle?
How would a turtle make this?
How would a turtle make
this? Turtle theory debunked.
This is the same problem with the you know, beast of burden pulling carts. It's like, well, why are the middles not?
Yeah, where are the footprints or the
why aren't the middles torn out by the?
Yeah, there should be an animal trail here. Yeah,
that's what I was saying. It makes me think of trolleys. Like if there was some kind of cart that was like had a self-driving vehicle.
Like you got the track there. The track leads the trolley, and the trolley is like self-propelled.
Yeah,
and it just follows the track, and then
the cart making,
and then some jerk makes another set.
So I hesitate. I think we're close enough. I can, and maybe I've talked about this before, but you know, you know, and Sean, jump in and tell me to shut up if I'm talking too much. But you know, the idea that we've been kind of coming up with, and are working on sharing is that they weren't wheels; they were more like sleds. So they were being dragged. You know, we're looking to show how that would be leveraged on a sled with some examples from depictions that we've seen around the world in different places. So, and that might also, like, you know, you need to be able to leverage yourself around corners and shift and move, right? Which wheels wouldn't do. Some of these turns, you've got to, you know, kind of factor in like that wheelbase. Can it make some of these turns?
Yeah.
Because some of these kart roads, especially Malta, and you guys showed some here too, which is really interesting. They really have a fairly sharp curve for something that would be like a wheeled cart.
Yes.
Right.
Right. It'd be putting stress as you, because they didn't have shocks on carts and stuff back then, right? So it's a stable. When you start taking a turn, the outside cart, you know, wheel is going to lift or angle as you start taking a turn. More so, the sharper the turn is, right? And so those are things we've been looking at and trying to factor in terms of like mathematically, what are we looking at in terms of the angle and how, you know, if we're working with the idea that this was a cart, you know, what's the lift on a side on a turn at this degree? And are we seeing that? Now, you showed one just a second ago where you had an extra lip inside the cart rut, right? But is that what it would look like? Because it wouldn't form like a ledge like that. It'd be scraped up. It'd be smoothed out at an angle. Because every time a cart came along there, if it was, you know, and you would think on that curve right there, the pressure, the angle would be on the outside of that curve, not that inside.
Yeah. And the other thing that's happening here is two tracks are, depending on which way you're going, or merging or diverging, right? There's two tracks next to it, like right in with like on top of each other. And then one goes this way and the other one goes this way, right? You can see it. They split here. So I don't know if this is an artifact of these two tracks merging together, but it doesn't look like it because it continues along this outer curve. So and this is the other thing. If these were cut on purpose, why would this feature be there? And again, like if I play some drone footage and you just see, and this same thing happens to me with Malta, you can, if you're looking at an individual track set, you can start to think, well, that maybe they cut this and it was sort of like a trolley or a train or whatever, and they were making rails. You could put rails in this and have something go along.
Right.
And it would be, it would be great, but there's so many.
So guys, usually we hold super chats till the end, and we'll do that, but we're getting a bunch in right now.
Ones, yeah.
Answering
I'm
a few of these
too.
questions. Let's jump in here and put some of these super chats on the screen, Sammy.
Real quick, I wanted to respond to your thing about the sled. You would run into the same problem with a sled, right? So you've got this thing coming down at an angle. Well, once the trough gets deep enough, you can't turn without this part of the sled hitting the wall.
Yeah,
correct.
So you still run into the same radius issue that you would have with a wheel. Once the wheel is trying to go around a turn, it's going to start bumping the sides. And somebody in the chat said, the tracks would have to widen at the turns. We don't see that. We don't see widening at the turns.
What we're looking at is curved sleds, and looking back at a lot of like ancient civilizations and how they were using sleds, right? So basically on a curved sled, I'm trying to, if it was curved or whatever, how that would move and how you could lean it forward and backwards to provide leverage moving forward, backwards, and it would also minimize that point of contact. It would give you different angles of adjustment, moving it like this, of where it's hitting those inside walls and things and how it handles corners if it was curved. So a lot of this, it'd be really great if I was good at creating graphics and stuff, and like if any of us were, we could
I know what you're saying. Like in other words, you'd have to have a very steep sled.
Yeah.
Like the sled would come down and be curved at the bottom.
Correct.
Where you can basically you can reduce what would otherwise be like the diameter of a wheel.
Right.
That's doable for sure. It'd be like almost like a stylus, like this thing that's sticking down into the trough. I mean, it's just so weird to imagine.
And then that would also give you the ability to, on some of these sharper areas, have a more centered point of contact that you could shift and turn a little bit. Right? You couldn't do that with a flat sled. You're stuck in that rut. But if it's curved at the bottom, you have a little bit of wiggle. This is all.
So one of the original depictions I saw from when I was looking up the Malta stuff and trying to find out like what have archaeologists thought of this, there's multiple different, all of them concurred that it was some kind of animal pulled vehicle, but one guy thought it was what is it? How do you say it? A travois, basically, like you have a beast of burden and there's no wheels. It's just a couple of sticks that drag on the ground, and you put the burden across a platform,
right,
between the back of the animal and the ground on the sticks, and then the sticks just drag, right? And they're like, oh, because they agreed that you couldn't make some of the turns with big wagon wheels, but they were thinking it was just sticks dragged along. But that doesn't make sense here either.
That's what I was thinking too. Is that like a sled type that has a steep? It's being pulled. The sled comes down, and there's like a small, like what he was saying, a small curved sled at the bottom. Yeah, but still, it would be really steep.
So we got to get into this together in the coming months here. I'm really looking forward to introducing you to my friend Sean.
Look at that one.
Showing you guys some of this stuff because he can explain it better than I can. Some of this.
This doesn't make sense. Like with the sled idea. Come on.
Yeah. What's happening here?
All the carts went that way and stopped.
What is this?
Yeah.
All of the thousands of carts went there and stopped.
Yeah.
And one wheel or sled went a little bit further than the other.
Which makes no sense.
This is what I'm saying. It's like,
what's crazy about the cart ruts?
Here's two more that do it. Look.
Every time you think you're figuring something out, you find another example that's like, nah.
Right.
What do archaeologists say?
Mostly they don't say anything.
Made by carts.
They just don't even address this. They're just like,
they're made by carts in more modern times.
That tracks.
Yeah. Generally speaking, that's what.
So I'll play a couple before we get off the subject. I'll play a few of the drone videos that show just the extent.
Cheers to the chat.
Yeah, and then we can tackle some chat questions. I see there's good ones in here for sure. So let me pull up this video and then we can look at the questions.
Ask me your questions, Chad. I'm not afraid.
Come at me, bro.
Yeah, look at this.
Amazing. That's actually a huge area.
It's massive, and this is just one spot. We visited like 2 or 3.
Bro, that's actually one of the bigger sites I've ever seen, I think. There's a few in Malta that are comparable. Wow.
So see that hill, he's looking straight down on it, the tracks get darker because the land goes over the hill and the tracks basically stay flat. I'm telling you, these are carved in some way.
It's so weird how they just stay perfectly separate, but then cross over and go.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so strange.
So it's suggesting that they're made in one pass.
Yeah, see this? See how like the ruts are basically on us. They go up and down, but very slightly, and they'll pass through these sort of more bumpy areas, and they don't go up and down like the terrain does. They pass through it at roughly the same level that they were out here. Or if there's a rise, it's slight, you know?
Yeah.
It's like they have some kind of compensation for the changing elevation of the ground. They will go up with a gradual rise, but with quick dynamic changes, they stay relatively flat.
And again, you know, I'll just back this up here. Like when you look at it, when you look, oh yeah, okay, sorry. When you look at this,
I'm joking.
Yeah. When you look at it from overhead, it just then you start thinking irrigation or, you know, conduit or whatever. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me anymore, especially how they overlap each other. Some disappear into other ones. Like some are obviously newer and older. Anyway, it seems like vehicles, and that the vehicles were here and doing this, you know, for a while because they cross over each other. And
the patterns look like it was one pass, but the formation of the ruts does not look like one pass, if that makes
I agree.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, especially with the scrape marks on the sides and stuff like that. It definitely looks like many, many passes, but it's like, how do you get that without preparation? Like, I feel like they were prepared. How do you remove the dynamic changes of the bumps and
let's just dispense with, like, you know, let's just go with the theory that these were made, because this is a lot of archaeologists will generally say that the ground was soft and it was made by carts, right?
Yeah.
So if we're going with that
theory, is what they say?
That the stone is relatively soft and it was made by carts. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And so if we go with that, the last time that we're looking at this area being able to do, I mean, we're still pushing dates back for people having the wheel, carts and doing things like this, back from accepted history, even if we go with that idea.
How do they date these?
I think that, I mean, it's very difficult to find any archaeological discussion of these tracks in particular. Malta, there's more discussion, but here I couldn't find much. But I think the general idea is that these just aren't very old, you know, that these are maybe 2,000 years old, not ancient like Malta.
Malta's just hard to ignore.
Right.
You can't ignore it. They're everywhere.
But there's nothing. This other thing is that there's just
but worse.
Right.
Yeah,
there's nothing out here. There's like absolutely nothing out here. This is basically a barren, like almost desert.
These are worse than nubs. Sorry, Russ.
Yeah, barren, almost, you know, desert landscape. And I mean, there's no farms. There's no. There's just nothing that explains it really.
There's
in a
no
good way.
stone.
Right.
There's no good stone here to quarry. It's volcanic tuff.
It's like all tough. Yeah.
It's not great stone, not great building material. So where's I mean, I don't know.
Let's answer a few of these super chats.
Sure. Oh, let me pull up another video here.
Yeah.
I wish I could get
Get
this
your
to
face out of there.
Nubs but worse. I love that.
Nubs but worse is
Yeah.
an excellent description. I wonder if I can.
We go. Thank you, word of mouth, guys.
Thank you, word of mouth.
Again, you are awesome. Serious question. Sorry if I missed. What is the structure / type of this stone? I'd be curious if it lines with piezoelectrism. I made up that word.
It's a
good word.
volcanic tuff. It's made of basically volcanic ash, dust, dirt, sand, things that explode from the sides of volcanoes. There's chunks of rock. There's like pebbles and little small gravels of basalt and things included in the tuff, but typically tuff is just like this. It's basically a volcanic ash that has been lithified. And I don't know about the piezoelectrical properties of tuff. I don't know how much quartz is in it, but I do remember there was like really sparkly grains, like shining very brightly. So I think there are a lot of quartz grains in the tuff, like sand. So I'm sure the piezoelectrical properties are there in the quartz. But I don't know how those things might flow like a conduit or through the rest of the matrix of the stone, which is probably more of a insulator between the grains of quartz. So I don't know.
And it's it's different depending on where it's at in the world, right?
It's all different. You know, it's like sedimentary rock in the sense that it's essentially ash, but it's made up also of whatever the other local stone that blew up with the volcano. So if it was sandy, like this whole area is sedimentary rock, ocean sediments, shallow seas. And so there's a lot of limestone. And therefore there's sands from beaches, there's sandstone. So naturally in these ocean sediment environments, you're going to find quartz grains like sand, silica sand.
So here is the site I filmed in Malta. And as it goes down, look at the curve. Now, by the way, some of the cart ruts are incredibly deep. I mean, there's no way a cart vehicle could have made these because of how deep. I'm talking like the center
huge wheels
in between the cart ruts were like several feet.
Yeah,
high.
so you can't conceivably get a wheel in there that's going to be able to turn at all.
And then you have this cart rut where you can see there is like center, like that other place we looked at earlier. So it's a more shallow one, but it's got these center cutouts.
Yeah.
But that turn right there just wouldn't work for a cart with as deep as the ruts are. And it covers this whole area, which is now they're tearing up and destroying. It's like a mine over there.
Oh no.
So they're cutting into this all of this area. And already have.
So it's like the turns make sense when we think of a vehicle. Like there's nothing so sharp that you imagine, a car could make that turn or whatever. But the other interesting thing is there's never any separation of tracks. Like, you know how a four-wheeled vehicle, when it goes around a turn, the back tires and the front tire tracks separate from each other a bit because they don't follow quite the same path. If a car is going perfectly straight, or a four-wheel vehicle or more goes perfectly straight, it'll make it. They can all the tires can go in the same ruts. But as soon as it starts to turn, all the tires diverge from each other.
Yeah.
Even vehicles where both sets of wheels turn to match. Like we had a piece of equipment that would do that. When you turned in one direction, the back wheels would turn to the left and the front wheels would turn to the right so that it could turn sharper. But those still diverge from each other because it's not quite the same. That doesn't ever happen with the ruts. And the turns, you don't see any diverging of track. So it does seem like a single axle vehicle, right? But then what you're saying is that with the rut's so deep and the turn sharp enough that you can't have a wheel that's big enough to have the axle high enough to be above the stone across the middle and also make it around that turn.
No, yeah. It would just break.
Yeah.
Not only that, but the diameter of the wheel is such that it can't turn.
It can't.
Without widening the trough itself.
Right.
Yeah. You'd have to have the track,
and the troughs don't widen.
Rut would have to get wider on those curves. Yeah.
They don't widen at the curves. So
no, they don't.
It's like these are not wheels. They're not sleds because sleds are also long.
I'm gonna go with this.
Segways.
We're gonna call it a segue and be done.
This is what we called it the first time we ever spoke about it. We landed on Anunnaki Segway.
I think they're stylus segways. They just have a stylus that sits down. There's no wheels, and they're just
Yep.
What else we got, Sammy, in the chat?
We've got Jonathan Frost 8767. Thank you.
Thank you,
and
Jonathan.
There's no evidence of a connecting infrastructure made of wood like post holes or other excavation marks.
Not that we saw in Turkey. There didn't seem to be any accompanying stonework at all, except for the ruts themselves.
I will say in Malta, what I noticed everywhere was that it was quarry sites with the cart ruts. So almost all of the cart rut sites seem to have quarrying and clear cutting out of stone wherever the cart ruts were.
Okay.
So I have a question about that.
Yeah.
Is that because there's so many ruts on Malta and so many quarries and ancient sites that they're all just kind of together anyway?
You know, it could be, but here's the
Malta's an island, you know?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing is that in a lot of these sites, the quarrying is happening in blocks between the cart ruts. So, you know, if you have your cart ruts right here, that space in between, in the middle, is there's quarried blocks going along it until it eventually just goes out and it's smooth like regular cart ruts. But at the back or beginning or area, like an end area, there's sections being quarried out between the cart rut tracks.
Well, those divots you showed us, the rut with all the square cuts and those, unless there's some totally unknown technology or I'm missing something, those can't be cut out as blocks. Because how do you cut the bottom? You can cut all four sides, but how do you get the bottom out? You just have to dig that stuff out of there.
Yeah, 100% on that one. Yeah. Let me
usually, you know, stone quarrying, you see two faces, maybe
there's a wall.
There's a wall and they're cutting them out.
Wall.
Right. And the wall is slowly moving backwards
down from the top
as they're moving blocks out. Yeah, exactly.
Or if you're in a cave, you're quarrying the ceiling and you've got a wall and you're cutting up from the bottom and along the ceiling.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to get at it from 3 axes or 2 axes, I guess, right?
Yeah. And there are some amazing cave quarries in Turkey. We visited one. I think it was Bazda.
Yeah.
They call it Bazda Caves, and there's an enormous amount of quarrying that happened there, and no one is no one is clear what the stone was used for. The closest place is Haran, but Haran is far away. And they were like, well, it doesn't seem likely that the people who built Haran would have come this far for stone, but an enormous amount of stone was removed. And they did it in cave. Like the way we quarry today is we cut down and it's open. Usually it's an open quarry, but this place in Basta, it was like man-made caverns, and it was unbelievable. I have pictures of that as well if we want to look at it, just so you guys can see. But so the quarrying is obvious, you know, and I couldn't find anything like that around this place. So I don't know what these were going to or coming from.
So
mysterious.
Here is the site where the cart ruts go off the cliff, and this is also the site with those up here is where those centerpieces are like it looks like a railroad track, right? And then the cart ruts actually go off the cliff up here somewhere. This is Gar Ilma.
Oh yeah, look at that. Holy shit.
And it goes right off the cliff.
All right, so there's ghosts dragging sticks with giant loads, and then they just fly off the cliff and they don't need roads anymore.
Someone in the chat said something about plasma. I always like reverting back to plasma.
Now,
So it's just
so these cart ruts.
Plasma is mysterious, I have to admit. What the hell is that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
So right at the beginning, I cut it out, but you can see right here, it's still overlapping the image. But right here, these are quarried blocks. You see that?
Yeah.
It's cut. And it's being shaped into a block. And what you can't see is that's the same thing right here. And this is cut right here.
I see the cut there. Yeah.
And this is a whole section and piece over here that's cut. And maybe I'll pull back and show that. I can't remember. I did this video so long ago.
So it's also possible that we're dealing with multiple different use cases. Like in this case, they could have been using whatever this vehicle is or whatever is going on here at Malta as a road for a quarry. But it doesn't seem to fit the case in Turkey.
Right. Which
the
is
other thing that's interesting about this one is these sections in the middle, which look like almost like gear cogs. Like you could have a gear or some it's some
the driving mechanism,
locomotive driving mechanism. Yeah.
Locking in place, moving.
It reminds me of, you know, the train breaking cars with two guys, you know, and you got the gear in the middle.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing with the cliff right there. What about the ones that go into the bay? See, this is why you got to get certified.
Yeah. I filmed that one too, and we'll be doing a Malta video here this year, and it'll show that. I didn't drone it though, because that's right in the middle of a city in a bay.
Yeah. I've read
in a road.
There's a set that goes under the water and up onto another island nearby.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I saw that one. Let me get this off. Let's do another.
If you go through Graham's book, Underworld, he does a lot of stuff in Malta. You know, he's diving in that. He's specifically looking for underwater ruins and stuff in that book. It's the one he wrote right after Fingerprints of the Gods, where he, at the end of Fingerprints, he basically comes to the conclusion that there was some cataclysmic event and that the sea levels rose. And now maybe the most interesting stuff is off the coasts of islands and other continents. And so he went diving all over the world. And in Malta, he was trying to track down a potential sunken temple, similar circular temple like the ones that are on the island. But I think he found a report, an Air Force pilot was flying over nearby Malta and looked down on a particularly clear, calm day where there weren't a lot of waves. And he saw what he thought was a classic Maltese temple, but under the water. So he's trying to dive on that. But he also said that there are a set of cart ruts that go under the water and up onto another island that's not inhabited. It's a small one, a small island out there that used to supposedly have ruins on it, but they were destroyed by cannon fire or something. They were used as target practice.
That sucks.
Yeah. So if that's the case, and you could, you know, so this is the question about the ones that go under the water in Malta. If that's the case, then you can basically get rid of any ideas of carts. And at least in recent times, because you have to go back far enough to where that was dry land, and that means you need the sea levels to drop, and that mostly means you need to go previous to the Younger Dryas.
Yeah. Which
puts it at 12K plus. Yeah.
Yeah. Another piece of the puzzle, right? So who we got? Word of mouth guy again?
Yeah. Maybe this site. Where is it again? Yeah, thank you. Was querying a different thing or a different industrial process. You guys kind of mentioned this. Yeah. How old are you guys guessing these are? And I'm gonna add to that. How are they even able to get, like, how are they testing the age of these?
Okay, so where is the site? It's in Turkey in the Phrygian Valley near Cappadocia.
Yeah, but he wants to look at it on maps.
Oh, yeah.
I think I got a waypoint saved. If I can find this,
I'll
post a link in the chats.
If you looked up the
giving away our
Phrygian Valley,
super secret spot.
Yeah, Kyle can find the coordinates. I did save coordinates for a couple of the sites because they're difficult to find. Was quarrying a different thing? If you're asking, were they quarrying something besides stone? I don't know. Again, there was no obvious that we seemed looking at the ruts in the middles of the ruts, right? Not where they ended or began. So I don't know where they were going or coming from. And then how old are we guessing? Again, this is something I can't answer at all. The locals seem to think that they were ancient irrigation. The most I could find from archaeologists is they're just assuming that they were a part of some stonework that was done by a king it's not very ancient, maybe in Greek times. And then you were asking how are they figuring out how ancient the rock is? Is that what your question was?
Like how so the one that we talked about first, right? Or Malta, they're saying is like 5,000 years old. Like how are they able to determine the age of that? Same as everything else.
Well, yeah. So the Maltese temples are dated by multiple different associations and carbon dates, as far as I know, associated with the temples. The cart ruts themselves, you can't really date them.
Yeah.
So they'll go to a temple site and they'll try to get original materials, maybe something that's beneath a megalithic block that they assume hasn't been moved since it was put down. You find some organic material that you can carbon date, right? But then there's also pottery types and other things, and then they try to associate can we connect this to a known culture that's in other places where we can date materials? And they've just, with Malta, they've landed on, and this was actually a big academic fight. How old are these temples? And the date kept getting pushed back until they eventually settled more recently on, like, is it 5,000 years old?
Yeah. Gigantia, right?
Yeah. Is it 5,000 BC or 5,000, like 3,000 BC? 5,000 years old.
It was. I just read it was like 2,500 BC.
Okay, yeah. So around 5,000 years old, 4,500.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the ruts in Turkey there's no way to date them, because again, they don't go to or come from any structure, and you need some kind of habitation associated with them to even begin to try to date it, because you need something organic, and there's nothing organic in the volcanic tuff, in the rock. So
it's just one big mystery.
Yeah, it's my favorite. There is I see a super chat in here from I'll just, if I can mention it, mini apocalypse. Could this be like sailing stones? I think of that every time I start talking about cart ruts. I think of the sailing stones, because it's the same type of mystery, where if you have enough photos of the tracks that the sailing stones make, then every theory you come up with, you can find a photo that shows that it's wrong. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah, I've been to the sailing stones, the grandstand out in Death Valley where the sailing stones are. So I actually have a video out you can watch on my channel, and they, just figured out how that was happening with these stones moving from moisture, and it getting really cold at night, and the rocks slowly but surely sliding along, and the wind that comes through there is pretty strong and pushing it. I don't think, because out there they're moving across sand, and you can watch that video and you'll see that whole area where those stones are moving in Death Valley. It's all sand, so they're just moving across sand, which can collect moisture and have kind of like that what do you call it, where it's just kind of like sitting there on a layer. of moisture, and if it gets cold enough, it can ISO because it gets cold.
Hydroplaning,
like a hard pan, or
yeah, pretty much, yeah. And so but the this would be different. We're cutting through stone with the cart ruts, like down levels.
I know that maybe we don't need to get into this, but some of their explanations for the sailing stones I don't totally buy either, because some of those rocks are pretty big and they dig pretty deep. And trying to imagine wind pushing
make ruts.
Yeah, trying to imagine wind pushing a boulder through sand where it's making a 4-inch deep trough is difficult for me to believe. But again, that place I haven't seen in person. So, you know, one of the things that happens with these sites is every time you get out there in person, it suddenly just rearranges all of your ideas about it. And some things become totally clear, and other things, you know, you're just like, okay, those were dumb questions. Now here are the right questions. But with the cart ruts, it's just, I don't know. When you get out there and you see it, it became almost immediately apparent to us that these weren't made in soft material. But that doesn't erase the mystery and the question of what they are, or how they were made, or why.
Try to bring up that
While you're doing that, I can show this real quick. This is a cave. This is one of the quarries.
Thank you, Vinny, for that question.
Yeah, it's a great question. So I'm sharing, if you want to pull it up, I'm sharing this is one of the quarries we went to look at. And you can see how enormous it is.
Wow.
And it's underground, right? This reminds me a lot of the Longview Caverns, I think, which you've been there, right? The Longview Cave.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But look at this.
It does look very similar, especially the across the walls and that banding.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dropping in chat the grandstand, the Death Valley video, if you want to check it out.
Anyway, I just thought this is a quarry, and you can clearly see how they were removing the material layer by layer. And then look at this. Down at the bottom, there was a hole in the ground, and the hole was lined with stones like this. And at the bottom is this Roman arch underneath the level that we were walking on. So this place is old, and the Romans had been here and built stuff inside of it. You know, some kind of shrine or something down there. And then that got buried. So it was really strange. Interesting place.
Wait, so that goes down?
Yes. So see
and
the
then
floor
opens
from
up
there.
in there?
Down from the floor of this image.
See the floor level in this picture?
Yeah.
So below this is all mostly collapsed stuff. See the ceiling, how the ceiling is like rough?
Mm-hmm.
It's been collapsing. These giant pieces have been falling down and filling in, and then dust comes in and fills in around them. So we're standing on a bunch of boulders, but underneath all this stuff are more levels going down.
Wow.
Or the original floor of the quarry itself, and there's actual Roman arches in there, or some kind of arches. They say they're Roman, but I don't think anybody actually knows. And again, you can't find any real archaeology on this site.
That's crazy.
It's mostly just a bunch of assumptions that are made, I think.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's so cool. You guys went there?
Yeah. I mean, there's so much to look at in Turkey. You know, and now with Göbekli Tepe, there's thousands and thousands of years of stuff.
And Turkey's so big, it's hard to do everything. You have to pick and choose.
Yes, exactly.
And then make multiple
last time
trips.
we did the Taj Tepeler, and then we went to Cappadocia, and it was like, okay, we had to do like an 8-hour bus ride, and
It's wild. I wanted to get out by Lake Van and see a bunch of sites out that way, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a whole extra.
It's the same
no matter
in
where
Peru.
you go, you have to fly into.
Yeah, Peru's the same.
What is it? I just forgot the name. You have to fly back to the capital and then fly wherever.
Yeah, you got to fly to Istanbul. Yeah.
Yeah, Istanbul.
So that was one of the biggest issues traveling there is that there weren't direct flights between stuff that didn't go through either Istanbul or the there's that center city with an A in Cappadocia.
Yeah, we flew there too. What was that called? I can't remember.
I know, but you can't
Ankara?
like yeah,
Ankara.
Ankara. So you can't fly like from Istanbul to Ankara to San Lierfa and then San Lierfa to anywhere else. You have to fly back to Ankara or Istanbul and then go somewhere else, right? There's no there's no hopping around and making it easy. Or you got to drive, I don't know I can't remember exactly, but it was quite a drive if you tried to drive from San Lierfa all the way out to like Lake Van.
Yeah.
I mean, Ankara.
From Lierfa to Cappadocia it was all day in the bus. I mean, it was a long drive. Yeah.
Did you guys have goats on your flight? Stay in Taco.
like on the plane.
Well, we make a joke that when you fly coach all the way in the back, that you're back there with the livestock. Got chickens running around.
Sometimes that's the case in certain countries. I've been on flights where there's livestock. Yeah, chickens.
But you're the last one to hit the mountain.
That's right. You're the last one to the crash site. Yeah.
If you're in the back.
If you're in the back, you're the last one to the crash site. Yeah. The pilots are the first. Yeah.
That's good.
There's a follow-up question.
Yeah, let's keep
from word of mouth guy. No, I'm just asking you guys what your guess is. Be outlandish, throw shit at the wall, make it stick. If Mike associated some to quarrying in another place, we know academia is on some sucker shit.
I actually go ahead. Go ahead, Kyle.
Well, I would just say the oldest I would say would be like, for Turkey, I have no context, but because we just went to this place and it was like, I don't know, but we assume that the Darren QU and these tunnel systems that are in the same volcanic tuff were refuges for some cataclysm. So I would go back to the Younger Dryas period.
Yep.
There's the I don't want to go too far in the weeds, but this weird religion,
Zoroastrianism.
Zoroastrianism of the people talking about, well, you got to dig varas, you got to dig these caves, you got to dig.
Yep.
And they have all these rules about how to dig the caves and how deep and how all of this stuff and how to deal with people down there, how to deal with death and food. So the cave systems down there seem like, okay, yeah, they could have gone there for refuge during a period like the Younger Dryas. Then you go nearby and you see the cart ruts in the same volcanic tuff. And so it's like, are those 12,000 years old? So that would be my guess. That would be my outlandish guess, is that they are somehow related to these other massive underground cities in the same bedrock, the same volcanic tuff.
Yeah.
At Malta, it would be similar because of these ones going into water. Like Russ said, when the water is down, when was that? Well, that was probably pre-end of Younger Dryas. So I would go there for those too.
And Malta also has hypogeums. There's more than one.
Yeah. Underground cities.
They're underground, multiple levels, same thing, cut into the bedrock. And there's cart ruts associated with that area as well. Now I know, the idea that the cart ruts have something to do with the temples, but there's also this underground stuff. And, so Turkey has it also. It's like the other thing, what Kyle's talking about, the Zend Avesta is like this Zoroastrian text. And it basically tells think of the biblical Noah story with the flood, except that this guy, their god figure is Ahura Mazda, and he is telling a guy named Yima that that a cataclysm is coming, but it's a cataclysm of ice. Because if it's a flood, you don't want to dig a giant hole because that's just going to get flooded. But Ahura Mazda says there will be a cataclysm of ice. There will be terrible cold for generations. So you need to build a vara, which is basically a massive underground refuge, dig down deep enough to where it has access to fresh water under the ground. And then you need to go around and find animals, plants, and seeds for plants, and then people, very carefully choose people and go down, and then you're going to have all these very strict rules that you have to abide by because you're going to need to live down there for generations. While
where's this written?
It's in the Zendavesta. It's basically
Zendavesta, it's the Zoroastrian religious texts.
Yeah,
they read almost like a textbook. It's boring. It's like this
very
repetitive,
boring.
Repeating the rules over and over for every different possible situation. It's almost like a manual for how to live underground and how to deal with dead bodies and sickness and all this kind of stuff to make sure it doesn't spread. It's like this. It's like a medical, like a standard operating procedure. That's the way it reads. It's really weird.
Yeah, like think if you were a technological, or at least somewhat technological person, and you were trying to tell people who didn't have any concept of science or technology at all that how to live underground for generations, and you make this massive rule book where they don't have to know the science, they just need to follow the rules and everything. They won't get sick, they won't contaminate their water, all this, how to handle corpses, how to do the farming, how to heat the place. And of course in the story, Ahura Mazda provides Yima with some magical items that can light it without making smoke, and so there's like these weird hints of tech in this ancient text. So connecting that with Darren Q and these cart ruts is like my favorite idea, if you want outlandish, but I don't think it's too outlandish.
That's outlandish, and
it's
totally plausible.
Right.
I mean, I personally think all these things are older than we're being told. I mean, that's kind of what makes sense. And
and also, if you look at depictions of Ahura Mazda, he's a man standing inside of a winged disc. So just think about that for a while.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, when you look at some of these things like the cart ruts and different stuff, if we're just talking about cart ruts, let alone all the other mountain of evidence that we kind of look at around the world for connecting all of this. But cart ruts going off into the ocean, cart ruts going off of cliffs, all of that.
There's your sleds, the sharply curved sleds.
Yeah, there he is. His winged disc
those
is flying along.
Those are the sleds you're talking about, bro.
He's dragging the landing gear of his disc in the rock.
Yes, that's what it is. He's coming in for a landing.
They're steep. They're curved at the bottom. It's exactly what you described.
Yeah, that's Ahura Mazda right there.
Riddle solved.
I'm sorry I interrupted you, but holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever he's flying. That's the thing that makes.
Yeah, that makes the ruts.
It's the rut. Yeah. Huh. Plasma.
Okay, so now they wanted outlandish, so we're talking about landing strips.
Yeah.
Which would explain why they're short.
Yeah. Huh. Some of them just end. Well, sometimes he lands.
Yeah, they just end at the top of a hill. They go down into the water a little bit and then they just stop.
This is fun. This is a fun theory.
Mystery solved. Next mystery.
Mystery solved.
Mystery solved. What else we got? We're on a roll.
Are there more? There's more questions?
Yeah. We got a couple from Rue. Thank you, Rue. I had to go back and find his questions. Let's see. Is there any instance where the tracks cut across different layers of raised sediment? I feel like
I think in Austin are the only ones that I've seen in sediment, or like ocean sediment. And yes, they went through different layers. I mean, mostly they were in the flat creek bottom, but it does change. So they went through different layers,
including in Round Rock.
Yeah.
But I haven't been to Malta, so I don't know. What do you think about that? I mean, they seem to go flat, or did they go up and down?
Yeah, they went up and down hills.
Yeah.
So they're passing through multiple layers of sediment, right?
Yeah. In Turkey, it's hard to tell. You don't have sedimentary layers. It is a sediment, but it's like it's all laid down very quickly.
One event.
So it's a one event. It's a volcanic ash or something falling from the sky and just piles up on the ground, and you don't get clear, at least in fine differentiated layers like you do in limestone. I mean, maybe the layers they're big from different events. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it.
And his other question, sometimes when land raises up, sediment gets turned diagonal. So is there an instance of the Cartwrights cutting through the edges of sedimentary layers?
Yeah, so I think Malta itself, the whole thing is the layers are all tilted. It's still, the entire island is still technically slowly rising. So correct me if I'm wrong, but one side of it is basically a cliff down to the ocean, and then it's a long slope from the cliff to the water on the other side.
When you get out to I think it's the east side of the island, it all just goes down.
Slopes into the water, right? Yeah. So the entire island is a whole lot of sedimentary layers that are tilted. So usually if the Cartwrights are traveling any appreciable distance on a surface, they're going through multiple layers, probably. But again, I haven't been out there to see it.
Okay. And then his last question, do the Cartwrights pass under the megalithic monuments on Malta?
I didn't see any. There are Cartwrights on sites that are ancient sites. There's one that I have a video out on. I would definitely suggest going and looking at it. I've got like, I don't know, I think 6 drone videos from Malta just on Cartwrights sites. There's a few that are on ancient sites, but the ancient sites are all, at least there's one that I'm thinking of specifically. But you can't tell how that site was built. It's in ruins. There's nothing left. So it's just squared off like this area was this, right? But there's no walls. There's nothing there. And so there's Cartwrights all over in that middle of that area. Now, whether, that one point that site was built up over and around that, I don't know. But there were no Cartwrights that I saw anywhere going into like, one of these known ancient sites that's still standing or that you can check out or whatever, anything like that. I did see Cartwrights. I saw quarrying at quite a number of the Cartwright sites in Malta, however.
Did the quarrying look to have, I know it's just you would just have to be like making a guess, but do you think the quarrying looked newer, sharper edges?
The quarrying looked like it was part of the Cartwrights.
Okay.
So, like I was talking about before, there's some sites there in Malta where the Cartwrights, in between the Cartwrights, the stone is being quarried out in blocks that are all the same size blocks. And so we're talking about blocks that are like, we're not talking about megalithic blocks. We're talking about blocks that you've seen like they're big, but they're not, they're like this big.
Yeah. A couple of feet.
Yeah. Whatever that diameter is between the Cartwrights, there's blocks being quarried out of the center of that. And then around it too. What else we got?
I think this was answered, but I just want to pull it up. Thank you, Gollum.
Gollum's half-botched circumcision. Good to see you here again. Gollum dropped. He was here before we even got going. I saw you, bro, dropping. He came in here, dropped a bunch of memberships.
Oh, nice. Yeah, thank you.
And a super chat, and then said peace, and then came back.
You said no one has checked the ruts.
Not that I know of. I don't think anyone's checked them, but maybe I don't know.
Never even thought about that.
I mean, you could just bring a Geiger counter, but I don't know anyone that's done that. I haven't heard of that.
Me either. Yeah.
So there are a couple of tests that would be interesting to do. I think again in Underworld, Graham Hancock suggested that in Malta, at least, it would be interesting to cut a section of a rut. And we talked about this in Austin as well. You need to cut across an entire rut and remove like a cross section of it, where you have a block and the rut is cut into it and you've basically removed it from the stone. And then you can check to see, is the material beneath the rut compressed more than the material on the outside of the rut? Now, in these ruts in Turkey, it seems clear to us by multiple different, like we talked about earlier, pieces of evidence that these were not made when the material was soft. But it would be interesting to do this in stuff that's in limestone.
Yeah, which could be done in Austin.
Yeah, it could be done in Austin.
Get to it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Get to it.
Checking it for radiation would be an interesting idea.
Yeah, what are we doing? Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just crawling all over them. They're just
I know, to see what the airport said. What is this, sir? It's a Geiger counter. Why do you have this? I need to check some ancient ruins for radiation.
Don't worry about it.
All right,
trust me, bro.
Follow me into this room, sir, please.
Right. Can you follow me, sir?
I just have a side quest. That's all.
I just had to do that. I got interrogated going into Canada.
Oh.
Into BC. I mean, full background check.
They looked at your Twitter account and they're like, get this guy
out. Strip search. It was nice. It was nice. It was good. I wasn't expecting that, but it was very nice. Yeah. Did
you have to pay extra too?
No, I tipped him, but I didn't. He didn't charge me.
The old tip. Yep.
I'm kind of confused by this comment. So, not the first part. Phrygian Valley stuff. Zoroastrians are almost as old as the Abrahamics. I agree. Sammy et al. Zahura's Mazda link under super chat.
Thank you, word of mouth guy.
Yeah, thank you. Much. I'm confused about the Zahura's Mazda link under super chat part.
I saw that. Mazda, I saw that comment.
Agreeing with the Ahura Mazda link, I think is what they're saying. It's linked to Ahura Mazda.
Yeah. And the Zoroastrian religion is very old.
Very old.
Yeah.
How old?
Very interesting.
Well, he's saying, and I think this is right, that it's almost as old as the Abrahamic religion. So it's from the same.
They were in ancient. Was it Iraq or Iran?
Iran, yeah.
These people, and they were
Assyria.
They were driven out, and they went and settled in Turkey somewhere and brought their, this belief system with them. So they're already being displaced. I don't know if it was because they were being driven out by people or by weather or by some cataclysm or whatever, but they go to Turkey and carry on this religion there. And they were where these Varas are, right? These big cave systems. It's just interesting. I mean,
yeah,
is it as old? Is it as old as the Abrahamic religion, or is the story in much the same way? I think, as the Abrahamic tradition being carried on from something even much older.
Yeah,
like I think the Christian tradition is essentially a retelling of the Osiris myth, which goes back a long way. It's the same. It's a very, very similar story, right? I think possibly talking about precession, the changing of the age. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I think he clarified his question here, Sammy, just now.
Is the cart thingy Zahura's winged cart? And
is it Zahura's Mazda? I get it.
Oh, okay. That's what it is. It's Zahura's Mazda.
That's what it is.
Oh.
I thought that was a typo, bro. Sorry.
Like zoom.
Yeah.
Word of mouth guy coming in hot every time.
You get 2 finger guns for that one, bro. That's
good. Very nice.
Let's see, Zoroastrianism is possibly as old as 4,000 years old. Founded in ancient Persia.
Yeah, it's
a prophet Zarathustra.
Yes, Zarathustra. Yeah, I think they were getting they were getting banned from places because it was a monotheism in a time when they were worshiping many gods.
Yeah.
And it's like, similar to what Akhenaten did. He's like, there's one true God, the Aten, and we shall all worship him. And he pissed off.
Everyone was like, fuck you.
He pissed off the whole priesthood,
Yeah.
the very ancient priesthood established, all the priesthoods established for all these different gods, and they eventually got him overthrown, probably. Go-karts.
20,000 BC go-kart ruts.
Yes.
Or Fred Flintstone mobiles.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, those stone wheels we saw.
What's up, Jeff? Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Jeff's the man. He's got a good channel. Jeff's doing good stuff on the copper mining. He's up in the UP in Michigan.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah, we need to dive on Lake Michigan, dude, and go see the Drop 45.
Drop 45 drive lane.
Drop 45 drive lane, dude. We need to go see that.
Dude, if you guys go up there, you got to link up with Jeff. He showed me around when I was up there, and he found that petroglyph from the Phoenicians and showed me the Keweenaw Wall. And I was digging into all that copper mining stuff. He's nice. He's a good dude to know. I'd love to introduce you guys.
That's cool. What's up, bro?
It sounds cold, man. I don't want to go up there diving, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, it does sound very cold.
I mean, that water, you're gonna need a dry suit because it's like incredibly cold and it's deep. You'd need to be advanced.
Yeah,
I think it's
do they make like heated suits yet?
They're yeah, I think so. I don't know if they're heated, but a wetsuit keeps you pretty warm.
Yeah.
There's different thicknesses for depending on the temperature of the water. But then a dry suit is for when it's really cold. It doesn't, it keeps you completely dry.
I'll just do that dry suit every time. That should just be the standard operating procedure right there.
The wetsuits are surprisingly warm. Right when you get in, you're like, oh my God, this is freezing. And then like a few seconds later, you feel great because it just keeps.
I don't even like wakeboarding with my friends out on the lake here in Austin. I don't even.
Yeah.
When they're still doing it when it's in the 70s and 60 degrees out. I'm like, yeah,
it's too cold for you.
Yeah.
Cold. Dude, I don't like cold water at all, but the wetsuits are great. We got our certification in January.
They're just like water jackets, dude. Like you just keep putting them on. If you're still cold, you put another one.
Put another one on. Yeah,
you put a thicker
layer.
Layer up.
Layer up.
Like you just layer up.
Yeah.
Can I wear a sweater underneath?
But
don't do that.
Yeah, but it would be a wetsuit sweater.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
I have to answer this. Cody, no, it's not happening. As far as
Kay's just being lazy. She's just being lazy.
Yeah, she definitely doesn't have some illness.
Yeah, nothing's going on.
Before about to give birth.
Kay. No, yeah, she's under the weather. And Kay needs to take care of herself right now. We miss Kay.
Yeah, we love
her. But it's happening soon. She's ready. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, everything's okay. Was that all the super chats?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Man, that was we can keep going on something, but the car ruts,
dude.
I tell you what, man, it's just every time you scratch at something and you think you're getting somewhere, it's really hard to I'm almost starting to think of the cart ruts as like this. Like the similarities between other features that you find around the world that are similar but not exactly the same. For example, like the belly holding depictions and stuff that you see in Turkey that are similar to Easter Island or different places, right? So they're extremely similar but not exact. And the cart ruts around places, you can't deny their similarity, but then you start digging into it. It's one site and you think you're getting somewhere, but then it kind of negates the other site in terms of comparison, right? So it's like, it's like it is like trying to figure out the nubs.
Yeah,
they're nubs, but worse. I love that description.
Worse than nubs, yeah. Shoot. Oh man.
Okay, wait.
Got one more.
He's like, no, you guys aren't understanding me. Pull up the stuff in the Phrygian Valley, please. Okay, I'm done. Promise. Bar tab closed. Pull up the stuff in the Phrygian Valley. I put some links.
They want us to pull it up on the internet, or do they want us to go out there and cut pieces out and pull them up?
I think they want you to show it. Like, can you guys show them
pull
on
it up.
Google Earth?
Hey, I posted a link to the maps in there, bro. I put a link.
You guys can screen share. We're
check my link, yo. I'll post it again.
They may have missed it because we're dual streaming to our. We keep trying to get everybody to move over to the Wandering Wolf Live, but they won't do it.
As long as you're civilized and you have Apple Maps, you'll be able to follow this link.
You know what? Hey, Kyle, drop it in the private chat in StreamYard, and I'll put it out on all the channels.
All right.
I'm saying pull up these links. I feel like, are you dropping links in the chat and we're just not getting them?
Well, I put a map link in there that didn't perfectly translate, and it didn't turn into a link.
No, you guys. He's like, no, you guys pull up these links. Hold on. Thank you.
I just don't know what links he's referring to. I feel like
we'll do it for you.
I have to find this. Oh, I'll get it from Telegram. Okay, this is where I'll get it. I'll get the link from Telegram. Just give me a sec here. Uno momento.
Yeah, you could just pull it up in maps on your computer and share it if they just want to see where they are.
Crap.
Word of mouth guy, I think YouTube is blocking the link. If you're trying to post a link,
that's probably what's happening.
I don't think that you guys are allowed to post links. I think that only admins are allowed to post links.
You could just post the coordinates. That's what I gave you in Telegram, right? Didn't I just give you coordinates?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I have them here.
Okay. Yeah, because I took GPS coordinates from 2 of the different sites.
Dang it! I don't even have YouTube open on this thing. I'll post them in the chat.
Word of mouth guy, can you post it so it's not separated, so it's not a link? Like space out the words.
Oh, he's telling us to pull up links that he's posting.
Yeah. Okay. And we're not getting them because YouTube blocks.
I don't see any links, bro. Yeah.
Daniel, I am going to try to get back up to Sage Wall this year. Would you guys be interested in going up there?
Those are the coordinates. Now let me post the actual Apple Maps link.
Google photo links from tourist photos.
Okay, I got the coordinates.
Okay, there's the maps link for Apple Maps.
All right, I'm gonna drop that in the chat. Here are the coordinates.
And then if you go to this link and you put it on satellite, you can kind of move around the area. This is just one particular patch. And if you go around the area, there's a dam. So you'll see a dam nearby. I think it's to the south. The whole area we explored was to the north of the dam or upstream from this dam.
So this is in maps. You can see some of the ruts here. This is the first spot we went to.
So you see that valley. If you go south, I think there's the dam down there.
Yeah, there's the little town.
See the dam across the valley?
Here's the
right
dam.
there. So we parked just north of that dam.
We parked in this field. And walked out.
You're right, in the field.
Yeah, parked in the field, walked out here. And then I think we walked along this road, and you can see the volcanic tuff, and this is a valley. Go along. Here's a site. You see them?
Yep.
Yeah. Have you guys marked this on Google?
Yeah, that's
No,
I mean, not officially, but yeah, I basically, when we were there, I got coordinates for the.
Dude, we're trying to keep this place secret.
It's totally secret.
This
yeah.
is our spot to take people on tours exclusively. So don't tell anybody where it is.
Yeah.
That's really cool that you guys were able to like find this.
And here's another
how
set.
cool that you guys just like had it in, you know, like took the whole tour out there. We're like, we're gonna roll the dice on this guy.
Russ
like
gets up on the bus, like he's on the bus on the microphone, and he's like, "Okay, well, we're gonna talk about this really boring topic." Or no, I don't remember what you said. I think maybe I called it boring. Boring or whatever.
Yeah,
but it became
I was like, I know
theme.
these sound boring, but they're not. And Kyle's like, boring.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
That's what
it's
it
always.
was.
Yeah.
So everyone in the chats, like when we were on the tour, they were like, "We definitely want to go to this boring place."
Yeah.
Like everyone basically voted, like, "Let's go. We want to see the boring stuff."
I got trolled about boring. Yeah, they were like, "God, it was so boring." I have so many questions about this boring stuff we looked at. Yeah. Here's more here. We didn't get to go. I mean, you can see them. They're all through the tough out here. But a lot of this, you know, and it's difficult on maps at Google Earth. It's tough to differentiate between modern just tire tracks and the ruts themselves. But whenever you're looking at this stone material and you see this, that's a cart rut, not a modern road like this is. This is modern.
Pretty big area of cart ruts.
Yeah.
What part of the country is that?
It's the Phrygian Valley.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the Phrygian, that doesn't help because the Phrygian Valley is enormous, but it's basically, it's...
Yeah, Ankara's right over there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nearby, I think.
It does look washed.
Yeah. So it is, you know, Turkey is just.
But here's the thing, like
amazing.
even with the clear sign of like water erosion and different things like that, that can't explain how these cart ruts, what you showed today, how they just end the way they do.
Right. Well, it would be great to go out there with some method of, like, even, I don't know, just to follow them beneath the sand or the vegetation for a while and see, you know, if you clear that stuff away, and you expose some of the ruts that have been buried for a while, are they sharper? Do they give you more detail?
Yeah.
Because this stuff that's sitting out in the open in this relatively soft material is being eroded all the time. You know, this part of Turkey is still relatively arid, but it gets enough rain where it'll damage this stuff. So it would be good to actually do some excavation, follow a good set of ruts into where they're buried, and see.
The problem is when you have quote unquote experts dismissing it out of hand as something modern or something known.
Yeah.
Right. There becomes no desire within the field of archaeology or anything to get out there and actually do work like that. Because it's already been explained away.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess the best like working idea is that these ruts seem to kind of be going in the direction of this little town here. I don't know. I guess maybe when we go back, we can ask around. Are there old quarries? Are there any old structures here? Is there anything underground? Because especially in Turkey, people have been living in the same spots for 10,000 years.
Right.
I mean, you go around Şanlıurfa and there is ancient stuff all underneath the modern stuff everywhere. So if this has just been continuously inhabited since the ruts were made, then maybe the purpose of the ruts or where they were going is in here somewhere and it's just completely obscured.
Yeah.
But they are also going somewhere else, and that would be fun to find. Like, where are they all going to? If this is one of the endpoints, then where's the other one?
Yeah, almost, something I was thinking about earlier, these cart rut sites, especially the one where you have lots of traffic of overlapping ruts, paths and stuff. perhaps where high traffic areas, it would make sense to do a lot of archaeological work in that area.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't know. I like winged vehicle landing strips.
Yeah. Yep. Zahura's Mazda.
Or Zahura's
Mazda, dude. That's the good.
Anunnaki Segways. It was Zahura's Mazda.
From like.
Now you know why they named that car the Mazda.
Yeah,
that's the other weird thing. It's like we're not the only ones paying attention to this weird shit.
Yep.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it's the same with Toyota. Their symbol is the bull. It's Taurus.
Yeah. That's a whole rabbit hole. Like every major corporation in the world has some symbology dating back thousands of years.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they're like, there's nothing to see here. It's all
nothing
fake.
to see here.
But yet they're building like state of the art, like this new invention, these vehicles that move around, and they're like, oh yeah, they named them after ancient gods.
Yep.
And that always made me think about the like Asherah poles and different things from the Bible. I mean, we basically have that going on everywhere in the world now. I mean, because if you're driving down the street, every sign that's up in front of some place like Starbucks or McDonald's, whatever, is some ancient symbol to a god.
Yeah,
that's what they are. So you're just everywhere that you go in the city and in your country are these what would have been like Asherah poles in the Bible that are these things to gods and these symbols and stuff put up everywhere on these.
All the elites have been like using occult symbolism right in our faces for forever. I just watched a video on the Vanderbilt Castle in Rhode Island? No. Somewhere in the Northeast. Have you guys seen this place?
No, I don't think so.
Look it up. It's nuts. The house that they built it's insanely huge, but every room is like molding with symbolism and and that's like one of the families that built America.
That's cool.
I finally got the photos.
The smartest, engineers, scientists, they build rocket ships and they name them Apollo,
right?
And other gods. And then like you got a guy like Sitchin saying like, hey, maybe these ancient texts are talking about rocket ships, and everybody's like, come on.
Yeah.
You're crazy.
You're French.
How dare you compare modern achievements to these ancient texts? It's like, well,
you pseudoscientist, shut up.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy to think that there, could have been rises and falls within civilization instead of this strictly linear path of development. It's just so out there.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Got another super chat. I would like to respond to this one. It's Gollum.
This one?
Ben Uncharted X mentioned the presence radiation traces in the precision bases. I got a hunch. Thank you, Gollum's half-botched circumcision.
Thanks for the pigs. Really appreciate the pigs. 25,000 pigs, Dio. That's cool. So that comes from Max.
Yeah.
Max was looking into these vase fragments, and he was the one that said they had elevated or peak abundances of certain frequencies of radiation or whatever that were not normal.
Cesium. Didn't he say it was cesium?
I don't remember, but
thorium. Thorium. That's what it was.
So yeah, Ben mentions it because Max says it. Now Max is out there saying like, oh, these are all handmade, nothing to see here. So I don't know what's going on with that. Like, where are you at, Max? Is there nuclear machining happening, or are they handmade? Or were the guys making them just like highly, like just they had a lot of radiation?
What was the reasoning given for the reversal of?
No reason given other than he did an analysis on some vases that he scanned at the Petrie Museum, and he was like, there's nothing special about these. And so now he's like, mystery solved. They're handmade. So I'm wondering the same question, like what's going on with the with this elevated radiation that he found, and this whole hypothesis of nuclear machining, where did that go? So yeah, don't know. We'll wait and see. We might, I mean, I think we'd like to have him on the show to talk about it.
Yes, I would like to have Max on the show.
Max, go on the show.
Come on, Max.
Go, Max, go.
He's already agreed to it. I talked to him about it here. Yeah, he's Max and his wife. They're great. They're great people. Ben and I went down there to visit them when he contacted Ben about he had some electron scanning microscope. Electron microscopes. He's like, I'd like to look at some of these vases with these. So Ben and I went down there and took some fragments and spent a day with Max looking at these pieces under the microscope and found some interesting stuff. And then Max has been sort of fascinated with it for a while, and he got into the Petrie Museum, looked at them, published some interesting things about possible nuclear machining, because when he did some tests, he found that the precision vases had a elevated radioactivity, a higher level of, I think it was thorium, versus the less precise vases that matched the baseline radiation levels that he got from testing samples of the source rock. So he had chunks of the granite, chunks of the basalt, whatever that stuff was made from, tested that and found a certain baseline level of radiation, then tested the non-precise vases and found that the levels were the same, but then the very precise ones seemed to have elevated radiation, which is strange. And so then he started wondering if they were using some kind of nuclear machining to make them.
Don't we?
And then suddenly, more recently, he publishes a paper basically saying that all of the precise vases are modern and aren't ancient at all. And every other vase that's actually ancient are the non-precise ones, so that there's no mystery.
So maybe he thinks that the elevated radiation is from the modern ones.
Yeah.
Now, because all the precision ones are modern, even the chunks, like the little fragments that he looked at.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
I don't know. Yeah, that's why we need
inconsistencies, Max.
That's why we need to talk to him.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. We had some good questions in tonight.
Yeah,
that's good.
Great questions.
Man, we're gonna have to have you guys back on.
Sure.
Yeah.
I want to get into we talked about getting into the construction stuff at Göbekli Tepe and doing some stuff in Peru and in Egypt. I think we could really get into. I think we probably spend this much time on stuff like Göbekli Tepe and the rebuilding and the different stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, we should we'll just if you guys are free, I'll just schedule you guys again for one of our next available slots. I'll shoot you some options and get you guys back in here soon so we can keep the ball rolling with the Göbekli Tepe stuff. And I'll also keep in touch with you guys on the Cartwright stuff that we've got going on here.
Cool.
And keep you guys, because we're gonna be diving into that pretty soon. Yeah. So yeah,
sounds good, man. Yeah, I'd love to come back. I definitely want to talk Göbekli Tepe, all things modern hype and ancient mysteries, both.
I'd love that.
Yep.
And I really want to get your take on. I've seen the documents of, at this point now, it's been a year or whatever almost since I was out there. And since that time, I've been made aware of the construction plans that you were mentioning for the roofing system and all that stuff, right? So I'd love, but I haven't gotten dug into them and read them. So I'd love to do that with you.
Yeah, for sure. I've spent some time going through it. I know a little bit about that subject too, and it's just like I told you before we got on, I think they're great. Like these structures that they built are great. So that's my opinion. But I'd like to go through the details. There's great drawings. We can talk about how they were built, you know, the methods. There's scientific papers written about it. We can go through all that. It's really cool, in my opinion. And I think maybe
that'd be
clear
good.
up some stuff on that.
You know, my perspective is very much, and I'll be the first to admit it's very, because, you know, I've been to so many places around the world. The level of like care that's put into some sites, and when it comes to reconstruction, is not always great.
No,
and it's not there at all. And so when I go to a site and I see these steel beams piercing down into the you know, the middle of a site like Göbekli Tepe, you know, my reaction, as you can see in the video that I put out, was pretty kind of like, what the fuck, man? You know what I mean?
I almost called you, dude. When I saw that, I was like, yeah, I want to call this guy.
Dude, call me anytime. Yeah,
I did more research. I was like, you know, I better like do more research. So I did a bunch of research because I was watching your videos and I was like, I didn't get that impression. So I just did a lot of research and I'd love to share it.
I think that'd be good. I think that not only would that be good, it's the right thing to do, is to share all of the information from every perspective and get all the takes on it, and then put that out to everybody.
Yeah.
Because I think that we've talked about this, Sammy and I and Kay and some different people. I think that there is some, you know, this last year really got me caught up in a lot of the, you know, really got a target put on me, especially from the archaeological community. There's a lot of people I'm never going to agree with. Some of them can be really ugly, but there's a lot that aren't, where there could be bridges between the communities of a lot of shared information and things going out to people that I think could be really good. But, you know, yeah, you know, when I looked at that site, you know, I'm coming from a very kind of perspective of having seen a lot of things just be not taken care of well, or remade just for money, and that being the priority, and, you know, tourism dollars and different things like that. So yeah, dude, let's get into it. I'll shoot some dates your way and get it all scheduled up. I think that'd be a really good topic that people would enjoy.
For sure. Yeah, the rebuild at the Kalasasaya, I think, in, you know, Tiwanaku, I hate that. Because you look at the original Kalasasaya, that, you know, it used to just be the massive standing stones in Peru at Tiwanaku.
Yeah.
And then they made all these walls.
Yeah.
You know, and you're just like, dude.
None of that was there.
Right. And they're going and they're like, oh, we're digging up this, I can't remember the name of it, but they're digging up the big central sort of ziggurat style structure.
Pyramid thing?
Yeah, but they're like, actually, they're not just digging it up, they're building it again. They're adding mortar and plaster and everything. And I'm just like, leave it alone.
Yeah.
You know?
And that happens at a lot of places. And I think
it's tourism.
Yeah, 100%. And I get it, but there has to be this balance of, like, you know, especially when you're going to a site and I see people walking out, you know, I mean, you see this in Egypt. I've seen people crying in front of statues in Egypt that I'm like, that's concrete.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're having full on experiences in prayer and crying and everything in front of a concrete modern statue.
Concrete is fucking awesome. You know how great concrete is, dude?
And sometimes when you're trying to pour it, it will make you cry.
It's amazing.
Really? Yeah. It can really tear you up.
Yeah, no, it is. It's to be honest, like, the way I kind of saw this from a different angle. And my perspective was, I am more disgusted by the things that I've seen in Egypt. And then when we go to Turkey, I'm like, wow, this is great. This is amazing. Like, they actually care. It's clean. You know, like, so I had this totally different, and then I see all this shit slinging online, and I'm just like, damn, like I had a completely different perspective. Then I got accused of being a shill for the, you know, for Like I was trying to get in bed with the archaeologist.
Yeah, he's chilling for big archaeology.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I was impressed. I will be honest. I was impressed by, and I mean, dude, like even way back, you read Magicians of the Gods, and the first thing Graham does is just rail about this structure they built over the site. You know, he hates it. And it's like, okay. Or was it in that book? Somewhere he rails about it. He just like complains.
Yeah.
And when I first saw it, I was like, this thing is awesome. Like, this is amazing. So I would love to get into it. I think it's a great topic. We can disagree. It's fine that there's opinions, but there's a lot of details that I think are interesting about how it was done.
Yeah, and I think that needs to come out. People need to be more aware. If there were design plans and structures and all, different types of stuff like that, let's show all that for sure.
Also,
we can do that.
The first time we went out there was right after they had that really catastrophic flood. And it was clear in the aftermath of that, the flood and then the earthquake, right? So it was clear in the aftermath of that event that structure really protected that site. And even though it was there covering it, a lot of water still got into the enclosures and did damage that had to be repaired later. But if it had just been open, that torrential rain would have really been bad to those exposed stones. So, you could argue maybe the structure could have been built better where it's not doing so much damage. But all of this is like, when we talk about it later, it's good to discuss.
Absolutely.
There's a balancing act.
Yeah.
I like seeing all sides of an argument.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Likewise.
Yeah. And it's been, the last year, it's been kind of difficult not to like dig my heels in when you have people like just.
Yeah. Dude, I'm with you, man. Like we've been getting a bunch of crap too for some of the stuff I've said. Like I said, like early on with the trees controversy, I was like, the trees are fine. And dude, everyone. Yeah, I got a bunch of people just flipping out on me about the trees, and then they removed them, when they removed them, they were like, "Yeah, they were damaging the site," and I was like, "Well, yep, okay." And then by the way, a good friend of ours is Mark Young. He's an archaeologist, and I did a lot of research. I wrote a bunch of stuff. I sent it to him as like a peer review. Right. He's an archaeologist. He's a friend of mine, but I asked him to review my research, and then he like redlined me in a bunch of places, and I'm like, damn, dude. Okay. He's making like great arguments. So I am trying to be as accurate as possible in my analysis of all the controversy on that site, and using a friend of mine who we see eye to eye in a lot of ways. He's not a inside the Beltway archaeologist. He's sort of a renegade. So it's great to have him, to talk to about these types of things. He's very knowledgeable on the inside and out of the archaeological circle. So it's been really cool. It's been a big learning experience for me as well, going through all this stuff. So yeah, let's do a show. Let's do another one.
Awesome. Yeah. Sammy, we got any more super chats? Any more?
We get
all of them? Okay. That was a good episode, guys. The Cartwrights are they're fascinating. I mean, who doesn't like a good mystery? This really is. I think I think it I can't remember who said it in chat, really summed it up best. What did they say? They compared this to the Nubs.
They're like the Nubs, but worse.
These are the Nubs, but worse.
Yeah.
They are. They're worse.
Yeah.
Because they give you more information. The Nubs give you like nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
The Cartwrights are giving you things, and then it just all like negates itself, and it's like a big circle,
the Cartwrights are like, it's an exercise in humility. You're constantly wrong.
Yeah.
You come up with an idea. Nope, that's wrong. And okay, maybe it's this. Nope, that's also wrong.
We'll get into all of the Göbekli Tepe stuff on the next one. I think this is an entire topic. We can go through all that stuff. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm gonna let's try to link up here soon. I think we're scheduled. We've got stuff scheduled out till mid to towards the end of February, so I'll get you guys slotted in for the earliest next one if that works for you.
Yeah, because we're leaving.
We're leaving
late February. We're out of here. We're going to Egypt for.
I'll just look now.
So
yeah, do you guys want to tell people where to go and
best place to find us? You know, if you want like brothersoftheserpent.com. We have this beautiful new website. But yeah, anywhere. We're both a YouTube channel and a podcast. So if you prefer the audio version RSS feed where you can just listen while you're driving or doing other stuff, we have an RSS feed with every show. But we're also on YouTube. Spotify has it as well. I am active on X. It's like at Snake Bros with no vowels, so SNKBRS. We also I have a Facebook account and an Instagram and other, but I never use them. So best place to find us is on X or YouTube or on an RSS feed.
I am going to drop y'all's YouTube in the chat. And then your website, tell us about the tours you guys got coming up. You guys, are they still available?
Everything's sold out, but we're working on another tour in Egypt in October, which that will be announced
this year.
Yeah. And then we do, of course, we just came back from Peru, so we do plan to do that again. We don't have any set dates yet. We're still talking about it. And of course, we do want to eventually go back to Turkey as well. And we have, future plans for farther out. We want to go to Japan. I want to go to Indonesia. I want to go to Gunung Padang. I want to see I would like to, we've been talking about a dive trip where we dive a bunch of ancient sites plus just some fun diving as well. All of that will show up on our website and of course on Uncharted X too, because we travel with Ben. So
dude, let's talk. We're doing Japan tour in May. Cool. And going straight from there to Indonesia to do Gunung Padang and Sulawesi.
Yeah, nice. Sulawesi, dude. I want to go to that valley as well. They've got stone jars there, and I need to go to Laos. I want to see the plain of jars.
Yeah, I can't wait to see all that. It's gonna be amazing. Yeah, and I'll share whatever I've got built up. I'll share with you guys. You guys can take what you need, whatever works for you if you need it.
Sweet.
Another boring site. The plain of jars.
Yeah, the plain of jars. Trust me, guys. I promise this is not boring.
I guess we're going to do this next.
I guess.
Let's go with the giant pickle jar.
Hey, Chad, make sure you guys go over, give them a sub on YouTube. Kyle and Russ, Brothers of the Serpent. Thank you guys so much for coming on. This was a great episode. I had a lot of fun, and the chat was going crazy with this one.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you guys. Cheers. It was great.
Thanks to the chat. Props to the chat.
Yeah.
Props to the chat.
Thanks, chat.
That was great.
All right, guys. Thanks.
See ya.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Let's give them applause.
Yeah.
Go back to Deppy stuff.
What?
Did I mute myself?
No, I can hear you now. Oh, but I can hear myself. Oh no.
What have you done?
What has happened? I think it's fine now.
Yeah, you sound good to me.
Good.
That was good.
Amazing.
Well,
So interesting. Every week I learn so much. So many new things. There's so much to know. History is vast, never ending.
It's almost like it needs to be your full-time job.
Almost. I don't know. We'll have multiple full-time jobs if that happens.
That's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It is.
Do we have any last plugs? Do we need to?
We make sure, guys, if you're watching on the main channel, to go over. I'm going to drop the link again in the chat and go over and subscribe to Wandering Wolf Live. I'm going to put it in there right now because we're moving all of these live streams over there very soon. So we don't want to lose you. Here it is. It's in the chat. So hit that link, go over, subscribe right now. Hit the bell, do all those things so you guys don't miss anything. Because once we move over there, we won't be streaming on the main channel anymore. All the live stream content will be on the secondary channel, Wandering Wolf Live. And we don't want you guys to miss amazing episodes like this. This was a stellar episode. It was so much fun getting into that. Rue, no donation button on the live. We've got to get up to 1,000 subscribers. So once we get up to 1,000 subs, the channel will be monetized. We're already hitting our view hours quota to qualify. We're already hitting that. So we just need to get up to 1,000 subscribers. Nice. So I mean, we have more than that watching every week. So we're usually hitting around 2,000 views or so on the main channel, 2,000 plus or whatever. And so once we move, everybody gets moved over to the live channel, we'll be good.
So send it to your mom,
send it
and
to
your
siblings,
your friends.
Yeah.
If you have them, if all of our internet friends.
We'll be launching another tour here pretty soon, I believe. Japan sold out. We'll be launching another tour here pretty soon. Got some several coming up.
Yeah, Mike has lots of secret plans in the works.
Secret plans.
So many secret plans.
Oh. And then Kay's having a baby. That's the big news. Kay is having a baby soon.
It's not right now. Important. Not right now.
Yeah.
As far as we know, it could be right now. I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
Your
book's coming out. I know. We'll get the perks moved over and we'll have some good stuff for you guys. I'm working on all that. Thank you. Word of mouth.
Okay,
guys.
so
hooking it up tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, got a book release coming in the next month or two, so keep an eye out for that as well.
Yeah.
Guys?
Oh yeah. Thank you, Rue, too. He said I promote it as much as I can. I see you. We see you on X.
Our next
sharing all the time.
We've got Tim Montana coming on. Yes, you guys don't want to miss that one. So we'll probably be getting into a lot of stuff in Montana on that episode up in Sage Wall and Giants Playgrounds and some fun stuff up there. The week after that, Derek Olson, Megalithic Marbles, is coming on. And we've got some other stuff scheduled as well, but we'll give you a couple weeks there to know what's going on. Tim Montana, and the next week, Derek Olson from Megalithic Marbles. And then we already have other people scheduled. I'll tell you guys about next week after that as well.
Yeah, and you have your Wednesday live stream.
Next Wednesday with Will and Raul from Incredible History and Pillars of the Past. This will be our third show. We're bi-weekly on that one.
Okay.
So, yeah, every other Wednesday. Sammy, what do you got going on? Anything else? Doing tattoos, taking
bookings. Yeah. Making videos and doing tattoos. That's the plan.
All right. Keeping busy with making amazing videos. That's the other thing. We're dropping a video that is Sammy's. I don't even know what to say. It's Sammy's masterpiece. So guys,
it is the best thing I've ever made.
It's amazing.
It's
Egypt
so
video coming out Friday. I'll have that uploaded. I should have all the back end stuff done and uploaded tomorrow, so you guys can set it. Set a reminder. And,
it's uploaded. It's ready to go.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna go straight into part 2. It's a 2-part video, so that's just gonna be the first couple days because it was a whole week of adventures. So after the first part 1, we'll have a part 2 come out, and then probably some shorter videos around the trip as well.
Yeah, we can tell you. We're doing the gym.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's
wasn't sure.
We're doing a video.
We're doing the video on the gym.
A full video on the gym, the Grand Egyptian Museum, which we were there just a few days after it opened up. So that's going to be a good one. It's got over like 100,000 pieces there in the museum. It's the biggest museum in the world. It's it is just massive. And that's going to be a great video. I've already read the script. It's a good one. It's a good one.
Cool.
We don't, you know what, Jose, that I don't think we're doing it ACL live at the Moody Theater. It comes with everything. We have, they do security. They've got bartenders. They have people watching, helping with everything, setting up all the sound stage, all the stuff. Like I don't think we need any volunteers. And if we do, I'd love to include you. I'll maybe put something together and get that out here pretty soon. We'll be launching. Sedona is live right now, so you can get tickets for the Sedona conference in May. It's at the beginning of May. You can get those right now at Worldviews Media, views with a Z, not a S, worldviewsmedia.com. You can find the link on my website as well, wanderingwolfproductions.com. And we'll be launching the tickets very soon for Austin as well. That's going to be in October 17th through the 19th, I believe. That is going to be a barn burner. That's going to be crazy. Austin is going to be sick. We have a like 2,500 seat venue, 3 levels, 3 floors, stadium. It's going to be sick. I walked the site. I walked it. I've been to shows there, and it's amazing. But I got to walk the site and walk through and see how we're going to be setting it up, and it's going to be crazy. It's going to be fun. And Austin is such a fun city. I mean, if you guys are going to go to
Austin's cool.
Go to a conference, go to Austin. It's going to be sick.
I can't wait to have some Texas barbecue again. Oh.
Dude, it's so good.
So good.
All right. This is a good one.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. We need some outro music.
Let's do it. I will do something other than lo-fi. What about daydreaming?
Let's do that one. There it is. Chat was good tonight. Thank you, chat. Some great questions.
We'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone.
Peace.